Three-time and defending GNCC champion Walker Fowler has proven time and time again that the #1 plate on his machine is going to be incredibly hard to take away. But lately, things are beginning to change. At round 3, Bryson Neal made an upset to the champ's win streak with a breakthrough first career win. At round 4, Adam McGill showed Fowler just how fragile a lead can be by making a pass in the most unexpected of spots.
This is what I'm talking about right here. There goes Cole. Look, he's going around.
That is Walker Fowler. What happened?
What is Cole doing?
we got a lapper stuck in the middle of the track. Walker Fowler.
Adam's going around.
Adam's going all the way around him. Adam McGill on the far outside.
There goes Adam.
He's getting creative.
Adam
McGill is going to win the FMF Steel Creek GNCC.
The 6-time champion Chris Borich is also right there in the hunt, and being the winningest ATV rider in GNCC history with 73 overall wins to his credit, Borich is proving he's still a force to be reckoned with. This is 2 hours of high-paced action deep in the countryside of South Carolina, and it starts right now, live on RacerTV.com.
Are you ready to go GNCC Racing?
Welcome to the CST Tires Camp Coker Bullet here in beautiful Society Hill, South Carolina for round number 5 of the AMSOIL GNCC Racing Series. Landon, tell me about round 4. It was a wild one.
Yeah, we had a good one on our hands. We came in, Walker was wanting to get the win back after losing it in round 3. Had the lead all the way till the last lap, got in a little bottleneck like Steel Creek is good for. Adam McGill capitalized and went right to the lead. We also had Cole Richardson that came in second. He's having a great year, coming back strong. Walker Fowler still ended up on the podium, but not where he wanted to be, so I'm sure he's looking for more this weekend.
Yeah, we are going to see a very hungry Walker Fowler this weekend, and the stage is set in the XC1, man. What about the XC2?
XC2's been a good year for us as well. We've had a couple DNFs that have mixed up the results a little bit, so it's made for good competition throughout the year. Hunter Hart had a big win in round 4 in Steel Creek, but Matt Lindell still hanging on to the points lead, just out of consistency. I mean, he's riding good, always on the podium. I believe he's been on the podium every race, but hanging in there. And then we had Brandon Icard in third, also been very consistent.
He has. Well, we had an exciting finish in round 3, an exciting finish in round 4. What's in store for round 5? Let's take it to Jared Bolton for the track description.
Woo! Thank you, Mikey. Welcome back to Camp Coker. This is a phenomenal race course. It's a little bit on the sandy side here, but it's not like the sand we see down in Florida. This is a little more forgiving one. We've got tight woods, we've got fast woods, we've got motocross, we've got fast field sections, so there's really something for everyone here. What does that mean for the racing? Well, it's going to give the guys who are better at the tight stuff a chance early in the race. They're jumping into some tight stuff right off the start, so you're going to see those guys get out front early. When they get in the fast field section, the guys who are faster at the faster stuff are going to catch back up to them. You're going to see these guys dicing back and forth. It's going to make for a phenomenal race. Overall, this is a phenomenal, beautiful piece of property that'll make for some great racing. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Jared. Sounds like he has a great track laid out for us today, and I'm excited how the race is going to happen here at the beautiful facility that we have. It's such a great track, and I think we're in for a good day of racing. So let's head down to the starting line with Rodney Tomlin.
Brian, thanks a lot, guys. Down here on the starting line as we say hello to everyone at RacerTV.com through live stream and, of course, on Facebook Live. And we welcome you all out here as, wow, a beautiful sunshiny day is here upon us. And this guy right here, Mr. Sunshine himself, a win 2 weeks ago, Adam McGill. I tell you what, dude, this is looking good. The stage is set for going. A couple of weeks ago, things looked good. You got second here last year. You actually won here at the inaugural race. I imagine you're chomping at the bit to get into this one today.
Oh, for sure. I mean, it's a beautiful day we got here. I think the track's going to hold up really nice. Obviously, Brian Eccles' part of the track is not as nice as Bolton's, but, you know, we'll make do with the CST tires we got on, the Pulse HT front with the rear matched here. If you guys ain't got them, man, you're already a couple steps behind. So, you know, we do have some momentum rolling in this weekend. I appreciate everybody being here. Appreciate the guys from Shawman coming over and supporting us. And let's see if we can't put this thing in the center of the box for the second weekend in a row.
Well, there you go. Can Adam McGill make it 2 in a row? We're going to find out. But first, let's meet our starting lineup. Yeah. And rolling first to the line today, he rides aboard the number 1. He hails out of Rogers, Ohio, riding on a Walker Fowler Racing. GBC tires back to Yamaha. The 3-time GNCC champion, Walker Fowler. Rolling to the line second today. He is second in points aboard the number 2 on the B. Neal Motorsports CST Tires Hauser Racing, taking his first win just a couple of races ago from Bidwell, Ohio. Says he's ready to win this one. They call him the Bidwell Bullet. Can he take the Camp Coker Bullet? Bryson Neal! Rolling to the line third today. Aboard that Honda. It is backed by CST Tires, Induction Solution, LSR, and Hyper Wheels. On board the Honda from Waverly, West Virginia, Adam McGill. Rolling to the line today, fourth in points. He is the winningest GNCC racer of all times with 73 wins. Can he make today number 74? From Sunbury, Pennsylvania on a Maxxis Fly Racing Heel Cycle Barn Suzuki, Chris Borich. Rolling to the line next, aboard the number 3. He is fifth in points from Casca, Pennsylvania on a JMR ATVriders.com Maxxis-backed Honda, the Sneaky Snake, Jared McClure. Nearly taking his first win 2 weeks ago aboard the number 733 from Edinburgh, Pennsylvania on an Am-Pro Yamaha backed by Gear Alloy and GBC Tires, Cole Richardson. Coltrane. Rolling to the line next aboard the number 9. A rookie from Windsor, New York on an MR Unlimited GBC Tires RJR backed Honda, Devin Feehan. And rolling to the line next aboard the number 10, eighth in points, heading into this round of racing from Aurora, Ohio on a GBC Fly Racing HMF Yamaha, Johnny G, Johnny Gallagher. Rolling to the line next, ninth in points aboard the number 8 from Richford, New York on the Spider Graphics GBC Motorsports Moose Racing Honda, Marty Christopherson. Rolling to the line next, aboard the 741 from Myersville, Maryland on a GBC Motorsports RJR Solo Pilot Pack Suzuki, Old WW, Wesley Wall. Rolling to the line next, aboard the number 776 from Knob Noster, Missouri on a Doolittle Trailers DeRisi Racing HMF Honda, Brian Baker. The 201 from Carroll, Ohio, on a Pierce Performance Moose Racing Spider Graphics Yamaha, Cody Collier. Rolling to the line next, aboard the number 11 from Akron, Ohio, on a B&R Motorsports GBC Precision Yamaha, Josh Merritt. Riding aboard the number 12, hailing from Ithaca, New York, a former XC2 Pro-Am champion on a Gold Speed Waynesburg Custom Axis Yamaha, Greg Covert. And last, and certainly not least, aboard the number 15, from Green Valley, Missouri, on a Spider Graphics Shockworks Motorsports GBC Tires Honda, Tucker Wyatt. And that, ladies and gentlemen, your starting lineup for this CST Tires Camp Coker Bullet GNCC. So riders find their way onto the starting line now. They'll be given a couple of minutes to get things warmed up and things revved up as they get set to roll into the Sansa, South Carolina. Only our third running of this GNCC here in beautiful eastern South Carolina, and I tell you, only a couple of hours away from the coastline itself. Myrtle Beach in the shadows of, we're in the shadows of where they are right now, as a matter of fact. So folks, I'm telling you, we have got a great area, great weather, beautiful sunshine, lots of smiling faces, and a whole lot of folks here with us from the Southeastern Trail Riders Association, as again we welcome Citra to South Carolina and to this Camp Coker Bullet GNCC. All attention now turning up toward Ricky Towery as our maestro begins to conduct the ceremony. He is waiting on the official word from all of our track crew and personnel. A little long on the start or the race this morning, making sure all riders are off the track. They are off. And now we are moments away from throwing the green flag. 1 minute before the green flag flies here at Camp Coker, and round number 5 gets underway. So our attention now bearing down on Ricky Towery. Some 140 riders on this starting line here this afternoon, bringing our total to nearly 400 entries on this Saturday alone, plus we still have UTV Walkers grabbing up the early lead here. Junior A 22 plus class, Levi Cohen, Zach Wright, William Wallace, Jay Millwood, Eric Straw, Brian Thompson, James Monger, Andrew Connors, Doug Morris, Corey Bligowitz, Jordan Poplowski, Josh Haney, also Jacob Scott, Matt Glova, Ben Danner, Bill and Taylor, Chris Ballou, Luke Shepard, Tyler Nivens, Russ Wright, and Brett Henke, all ready to roll on Ricky Towery's cue. He lets them know just 10 seconds. And the Junior A are off and rolling. .803. Tyler Nivens from Smyrna, South Carolina on the Vanilla Gorilla bag machine grabbing the early lead. The then A class, Big Papa P, Jeff Pickens, AJ Coons, Todd Muscalo, the Marlboro Man, also Nick Carnelli and Brad Whitehead ready to roll on Ricky Towery's cue. He lets them know 10 seconds. Van A off and rolling. Big Papa P, Jeff Pickens on that 21 machine grabbing the early lead. Senior A 40 plus class, Michael Hayes, Trail Anderson, Justin Kerr, John Salsa, Mark Batson, Dale Batson, and Brian Shaw, Senior A 40 plus class, ready to roll in 10 seconds. Senior A off and rolling now. Our lefty here. And into the second turn, it's the 828 Brian Shaw from Harrisville, Pennsylvania. Riding on his Honda College B class. 22 riders, Jeremy Ledon, Peyton Dalton, Josh Adams, Mitchell Kidd, Ben Wilson, Jared Dawkins, Colton Dobbs, Ronald Howard, Alan Daniels, Jeremy Haney, Carter Kearns, Matthew Golden. 10 seconds. Jared Lambright, Chase Allison, Austin Schraub, Hunter Harris, Colton Kendall, Jonathan Grimble, Rhett Cox, Cale Howard, R.J. Jacobs, and Blaze Cook. Alan Daniels having a little get off on that start line. Look at that. Jeremy Ledon, ooh, second place. It looked like he was going to grab the early lead. We got the Junior B class now. Charlie Rogers, Tyler Palmer, Nathaniel Tickle, David Kite, Neil Tolston, Derek Way, Tristan Jones, Robbie Hill, Cody Taylor, Jeremy Buchanan, Alex Eloff, Nathan Burkholder, Justin Miller, Nick Miller, Emily Wise, Cody Holcomb. 10 seconds. Travis Matthews, Dustin Ulrich, Cody Stewart, Blaze Taylor, and Anthony Woodard. All right. Can the whole shot queen do it again? The 419, Emily Wise, she's back out front. Emily Wise with about 2 bike length lead going across the whole shot stripe into the first turn of bike length lead. Can she continue this lead? We'll check in later. That B30 plus class, Zachary Phillips, Anthony Spivey, Wesley Smith, New York, Dave Napo, Chris Conklin, Jared Little, and David Rudder Jr. 10 seconds. That B30 plus are off and rolling. Woo. 74, Zach Phillips from Parsons, West Virginia on the Greg's ATV, ATV4 play. Oh, maybe not. That's going to be the 552. Wesley Smith from Lexington, Ohio on an Honor Fly Pro Graphics Fly Racing bag machine. He grabs the early lead. Senior B, Greg Phillips, Tim Davis, Ed King, Ryan Reed, Brian Locke, and Jeff Harvey, our last row, ready to roll in 10 seconds. And the final row is off and rolling. Senior B 40 plus class. And who's going to be the early leader in this one? 361. Ed King from Waynesburg, Pennsylvania. Jim's Racing, Hauser Racing, and Barnhart Honda sponsored rider. There you go, folks. Some 140 riders making their way through the woods and traversing their way through South Carolina soils right now. The big question is,
Ooh, hey guys, you scared me. It's a Gator here, wanting to make sure you, I mean you, in there, are tuned in to watch GNCC live on RacerTV.com. Peace.
We handle your races, your jumps, and your trails. Isn't it time you give your daily driver the same love? AMSOIL's Signature Series Synthetic Motor Oil delivers 75% more engine protection against horsepower loss and wear than required by a leading industry standard. AMSOIL also offers a full family of ATV, UTV lubricants, giving you above and beyond fortification for your weekday and weekend vehicles. AMSOIL, devoted to protection.
I'm a sore loser.
I'm a sore loser. Losing is not an option for me.
Be the best.
The best. The best. You have to have the best equipment under the hood. That's why I only use
Cometic products in my engines.
Cometic gasket. Cometic gasket. Cometic gasket.
Cometic gasket, a superior quality gasket
for those of us who demand the highest level of performance.
We are American motorcyclists. We are members of the American Motorcyclist Association. Racers, fans, and crew. We come together for this sport we love, to race together, to grow together. We start young and not so young. We race motorcycles and ATVs. We become friends, we become family. We compete for weekend bragging rights and national championships. We make memories on the toughest off-road courses in the country and on the best motocross tracks in the world. Some of us aspire to the speed and poise of road racing or the fierce competitiveness of American flat track, and we honor our greatest champions in the AMA Motorcycle Hall of Fame. Through it all, we cheer, we win, and we lose. We are racing. We are the AMA. Race with us. Be part of the greatest sport in the world. Be an American motorcyclist. Join us today at www.amajoin.com/join-now.
The AMSOIL GNCC series on Racer TV is brought to you in part by AMSOIL, the first in synthetics. Rocky Mountain ATV MC, get ready. And Monster Energy, unleash the beast.
Yeah, for sure. Looking at the points, we're all right there. Been up front all year. Just need to, I think it's just need to get that one win and then game on from there. So coming into today, we're looking, looks like it's going to be a little dusty. Obviously, a start's always key. So hopefully get a good start and see where we end up.
If I calculate it right, it's been 43 races, man, since you've actually took the checkers and a win. I know that sounds like a huge monumental number, and you probably haven't thought about it in that perspective, man, but, I mean, it's been a long time, and a next win seems so close right now.
Yeah, for sure. I'm not a numbers man. Like I said, I had a couple bad years there, switching brands and just trying to get back to the swing of things. But I believe this year we'll be able to capitalize on getting a win and hopefully be able to get some plenty more after that.
It's a first career win for Bryson Neal heading into Camp Coker. How's things going?
It's great, man. We put our nose to the grindstone the last 2 weeks and feeling real confident on the bike, been pushing the edge a lot and just chomping at the bit. This is the Camp Coker bullet. I'm the Bidwell bullet, so we're ready to let the big dog loose tomorrow and get off the start and tackle this track.
You got your win under your belt. You went into North Carolina. I had a feeling you didn't sense a whole lot of success in North Carolina as far as a win, but overall it must have been a success where you got finished and you got points.
Yeah, I mean, I finished fourth. You know, I'm not happy with that at all, but North Carolina, the best I've ever done there in my life of whole racing is third place. So I knew going in there that's not my strong place. It always fights me. So those guys gained about 10 seconds a lap on me, and I couldn't complain. I felt good. I didn't get tired. The bike was handling good. That day it wasn't my best, and we went home and repunned the ball and went back to work. So that's all we can do. We finished. We got good points, but we're really looking forward to putting the CST tires out front tomorrow at the CST sponsored round.
You're just going to have to be, on your game. I mean, get a good start here because it's super dusty from what I've seen walking this track. So just get out front and, just try to avoid making mistakes because if you go back here, it's going to be hard to pick through this dust today.
All in all, looking at your season, you've had a really good season. You've been pretty consistent.
Yeah, the bike is awesome. The JMR Honda here is working good. Elga suspension's awesome. Things dialed in. Just last week I struggled with a start. It was my worst finish, and I was really bummed about it. But tough track to make up time and even make passes there. So, coming here with, feeling good, thinking positive, and just all about the start, go out, and I think we'll be able to get on the box again.
I'd say I'd almost feel a little bit less pressured because, I mean, we're not going for a championship. That's out of the question at this point in time. So we're going for a national number. And years past, obviously, in the College A class and the XC2 class, we're going for a class championship. And I'd say that's a little bit more pressure. So we're just kind of going out there in the pro class and try to get solid overall finishes. And that's what we're out here to do. And I mean, running with these guys, I almost feel a little bit more pressure out there when I'm riding because these guys are so fast. But we're still learning.
So, at the end of 13 rounds of racing, what do you hope that you can look back and say?
Well, I hope I can look back and say that I did the best that I could, and, I learned from each race and got better each race. And hopefully at the end of the year, I'm where I want to be, and we're working towards that, and we're getting there. I want to be running with the top guys at the end of the year, and I think if I keep working and doing what I'm doing, I think we'll be there running with the top 5 at the end of the year.
And this time, we're loud and clear. Well, I think we got the word there from our pro riders and the input onto where they're at in the season, what they expect from themselves here in round 5. So the stage has been set. We're underway here. I think we're actually going to take a look now at the Google Maps of exactly what all this track has in store today. So you can see here, we've got, about an 11.5-mile course, I believe, somewhere in that ballpark. We can see the infamous FMF PowerPoint. Look at that. That is impressive stuff. And, of course, Monster Mile a part of this course as well. They're in between the 6 and the 7. And just, South Carolina Society Hill, it offers a little bit of everything. One of the big things I heard that was a difference between the last couple of rounds, we've had more opportunities to pass here. We've got a great motocross portion of this facility. We are in for some great GNCC racing today. So there you go. There is the CST Camp Coker track, and here we are. And we've got someone with us this weekend. Tara Geiger, tell us, what brings you out here to the GNCC Racing Nation? What are you doing with us this weekend? Who are you? Tell the GNCC fans who you are.
Yep, I'm Tara Geiger. I grew up racing motocross, built a career on that, and over the past few years been dabbling in the off-road scene. Started with some enduro cross and having a lot of fun just getting out longer races, rougher tracks. Did some GNCC stuff, a lot of stuff back west. Yeah, it's just a blast. I've heard great things about Camp Coker and figured if I was going to go to one, this was going to be the one. And beautiful weather. I'm not here in a mud bog, which is
Yeah,
great.
exactly. You came to the right
it's
one
then.
then.
It's not snowing. It's not cold. It's perfect.
Yeah, it is. We've got beautiful weather here, and yeah, you're right. You picked the right one. It was a bit of a mud bowl last round, so welcome to beautiful South Carolina. Here we're getting a look of the FMF PowerPoint. You guys saw that on the Google Maps there just a moment ago. This is about mile marker 2 here, kind of a still shot right now. I believe, is that one of our JCR guys down there scoping things out? Might even be Trevor Bollinger right there watching the race in action. And now, hey, it's us again. There we go. Fair enough. So we'll get some more shots of the leaders coming through here this morning. A whole lot of riders out there, not just the XC1, not just the XC2, but several different classes, your A classes and on. Those guys all out here giving it their best here at Camp Coker, round number 5. So are we going to take a look at maybe some starts here in a second? Or maybe take a look at where our leaders are coming in. I know out of the XC1, the whole shot winner was Walker Fowler. That was one of the things these guys talked about pre-race was getting a good start. They said that's the major thing. It's been that way all season, but especially here. And a guy like Walker Fowler is the guy that when he gets out in front, he can put you in the dust, and it's the Walker Fowler show all day long. And that's exactly where he was to start this one. That's going to be tough for those guys to come and work their way up into the front. And then out of the XC2, how about Nick Royalty taking the whole shot there? It's different. I believe that's his first whole shot snag or nab to start this season. And Rodney Tomlin joining us in the booth now. He had the scoop for us down there on the start, Rodney. And Walker Fowler, we were just saying, out in front, exactly where he wants to be and exactly where the rest of the pack doesn't want him to be.
Well, I'll tell you, it was pretty impressive to say the least whenever he took off. I mean, that's the one thing that he hasn't been able to do the last couple of rounds, and that's the one thing that, well, actually in Georgia, he did get the whole shot. He just made that early mistake. So barring no mistakes early on, Walker's right where he wants to be, and the advantage to Walker today is the fact that we have dusty conditions out there on that racetrack. And even though the wind's blowing and it goes away quickly, you can't be too close or it's going to cause all kinds of problems. And Walker knows that. Everyone else knows that. So that's the game today, and everybody's trying to play it, I think.
It's going to be interesting. And, you know, coming into this one, GNCC Racing Nation knows he has not won the last 2 rounds. He didn't win round 3. That was Bryson Neal. Round 4 comes out. It was Adam McGill. And Chris Borich with some amazing racing. Jared McClure with there's so many names. We always talk about it. You know, there's 5 or 6 guys that can make it happen. But this season, that's really been the case.
It is, and it really is. And that pool may actually go deeper now whenever we start looking a little further. I mean, there's so many guys that have won or come close to winning, and it's getting deeper. I mean, Cole Richardson just thickened the pot so much 2 weeks ago. And, you know, the thing about Cole is he was kind of that unknown variable. A few years ago, he was the hype, all the hype. I mean, we were expecting what we're seeing out of Cole Richardson right now. But the thing is that he had that C. diff problem. He had the Crohn's disease, which was kind of all related to that. Then he had the injury last year, and that took him out. And basically dropped off the radar. We didn't know what was going on. What we didn't know is that last season, late last year, is that actually Cole had fired up the Cole train, was racing locally, getting back up to speed, even racing Walker on some off weekends and so forth. And he found his groove, he found his flow, and he started out the 2018 season very strong. And each round, he's gotten stronger and stronger. And I remember talking to him after, I think it was, Georgia maybe? He said that was his best finish that he had in you know, closest to coming to taking the win. It was like 24 seconds that he finished behind the leader. And then last race, what was it? Just under 2 seconds or something like that. So the last 2 races, Cole Richardson has had his 2 best races. Will he have a 3rd best race here today? That could mean that he wins. And if that's the case, that's going to be 4 different winners that we've had so far here in 2018. And that's kind of surprising and shocking to think that we're talking about this possibility being very strong, especially as dominant as Walker Fowler has been the last couple seasons.
You're absolutely correct. It's exciting. The stage is set, man. I'm stoked about this one. I mean, just the amount of competition we've had. Here we go. Now we're getting a shot of our riders moving through this course, getting through this motocross section.
I gotta take my sunglasses
And
off.
how about that gap?
Wow. Well, that's kind of what we anticipated out here, maybe with the conditions. But, you know, at the same time, I think we're going to see it tighten back up because we get into some of these tight wood sections out here. It's certainly going to tighten it up. Hey, I do want to make one note. Out on the start, I said 225. I don't have the 225's number. It was actually 265. I missed that. I misread it. Nick Royalty, Scottsburg, Indiana, got the whole shot. There's Walker Fowler out on the famed Camp Coker motocross track now, and Walker Fowler has got an amazing lead amassed here. And I know watching this now, Tara Geigers, we welcome you here to this week's show. Your first experience from the broadcast booth and your first experience with ATV racing. And already, I think you've been impressed. I know you were watching the 8 o'clock race and the 10 o'clock race this morning. I heard some of your reports.
Yeah, definitely. I was out there since the very first flag drop, and this track it's getting brutal, it looks like, and it's getting dustier. Definitely so much respect for these guys trying to fit those machines through the trees and hold on through all those bumps. And yeah, it's looking brutal, and this is just the start of their 2-hour race, so it's going to be exciting to see how it all plays out.
There is Coltrane. Coltrane's got a train of folks coming in behind him right now. He's got a host of riders that are trying to keep pace, and that's what we're going to see a lot of, I'm sure. A couple of riders, gap, a couple more riders, a few riders, and then a gap. And joining us in the booth now is Landon Wolf, fresh off of the 10 o'clock race. Landon, I didn't catch it. Did you end up winning that 4x4? No. You came short on the 4x4 battle, huh?
Couple seconds short. Yeah, we had one hell of a battle out there, but actually we were both running out of fuel within a couple corners of the finish line. So it came down to I ended up pulling in and grabbing some fuel, and he ended up limping her in. So yeah, a couple seconds short.
Wow. So as we watch this, we see riders are getting sorted out and everything. And, you know, a lot of times on days like, well, muddy days, you think about goggles. But I think goggles are probably just as important on a dry and dusty day as they are on a muddy day. And maybe even more so on a dry and dusty day. And Tara Geiger is here with us. And Tara, explain to us a little bit about the goggles and the different types of systems we have, because I know, you know, you have your goggles. Some people put tear-offs and some people put roll-offs and things like that. I mean, what's best? What works best? And is it personal preference, I guess?
For me, it's a lot of personal preference. Growing up doing motocross, I always went with the tear-offs because it's a clean pull. You get completely clear vision, and you're not racing a super long time, so you can have 7, 14, 21. They usually come in packs of 7. They're laminated, so they're really thin.
So like a really thin laminate here, and basically what happens is that they roll over and you jerk one off, and then that kind of sets you up for the next one to come, right?
It's a clean sheet, so you get a full frame of vision. On really muddy days, though, you'll run out of those really quick, so you tend to maybe run roll-offs, which are it's a roll of film, and you pull it, and it's a narrow film across the lens, so you get that part of vision clear. It also helps with fogging. Like on a rainy day, your tear-offs might fog up, but roll-offs are more vented. The lenses usually have holes in them to allow for the moisture to come in and out without fogging them up. And on a day like today, honestly, if there's not mud holes or something, being that it's dusty, sometimes nothing works good, and you can just go with a clean lens and just kind of wipe it as you're going. Because a lot of times when it's dusty, tear-offs, it gets between the tear-offs or behind a stack of the 7. And then I've honestly never used roll-offs too much in the dust. I've kind of gone with a more simple frame and not the big roll-off. But yeah, in the dust, you can wipe it and keep it clean a lot easier than in the mud.
That makes sense. And, you know, I always wondered about that because I know eye protection is one of the most important things. I mean, you got to think about your head, your safety, and all these. But, I mean, eye protection. If you can't see,
Definitely.
You can't ride.
That's one thing, even in mud races, I wait until the very, very last second to pull my goggles if I have to. I do everything I can to wipe it, but you definitely, getting stuff in your eye is probably the worst thing, and racing in the trees and stuff, a tree branch, I mean, that'll put you out of the race where, you know, trying to look through a muddy lens if you happen to run out of tear-offs or your roll-offs run out is a little bit safer than taking a tree to the eye.
Amen on that. I've actually experienced that myself. I was racing the Ironman one time. My goggles fogged. I kept them on and they were too foggy to ride on. Now, how do you unfog goggles if you're out racing? I mean, you got any special tricks or anything? You just got to take them off, let them defog, and then put them back on?
In off-road racing, it was a new thing for me having the goggles fog up in like a rain race, but you can see with these ones, they have little holes in them that allow some air to go through and hopefully defog them. But another trick I've learned is on a 4-stroke, you can kind of heat the lens up, so it like pre-fogs it, and then hopefully it doesn't get foggy. But you can't really do it with tear-offs. It's kind of a quick fix, but sometimes it works.
In a tough situation. I get it. I totally get it. So a couple little tricks here and there.
Yep.
And like we say, goggles are as important as a helmet, as important as anything that you're going to put on during the ride.
You can't ride if you can't see.
Hey, that's for sure. Well, Landon, as we take a look at what's going on out here on the racetrack, we see that Walker Fowler has pretty much done exactly what he wanted to do. And, you know, even though Walker has been down a couple of races, and we've seen Bryson Neal at the top, we've seen Adam McGill at the top, we've seen, we've seen the 733 of Cole Richardson pushing and gaining time on these guys. I mean, you know, you take the big picture right now, the championship points race is not a 20-point gap as it would have been maybe at this time last year. But at the same time, I think Walker's still in a pretty comfortable driver's seat as we head into this 5th round of racing.
Yeah, I mean, these last 2 races, especially the last one, it was kind of, well, even the one before that, you know, we had some mud, we had some tricky situations, which made for tough racing. And Walker had the lead there at the end of the last lap, or the beginning of the last lap at the last one, and ended up losing it because of other riders out on the track. But I think a lot of people were expecting him to come here today where it's a dry, fast, rough, a lot of passing out there. I think a lot of people were expecting to see him go back to where he used to be, just because of the track conditions. And wouldn't you know it, he jumped out to a hole shot, and as we can see it right now, he is walking away. I mean, the dust played a big part. There's a huge field section, which I'm not sure if they have a camera out there or not, out on the other side of the property. That
well, I'm sure if we don't have a camera, we've got a drone.
Right. Well, I mean, a massive field section. Like, it is a long time through there. So with him having the hole shot, I know there's a lot of dust out there. So that could have been the reason that he created a little bit of a gap. But here at this track, with as dusty as it is, it may be tough to close that in. So it'll be interesting to see who can maybe put a challenge to him, or they can't.
Well, as we look down onto Vendors Row and the VP Fuels Pro Row, there's the Monster Energy can. You see all those nice little rigs in there. You see that nice one down there on the end, parked sideways. That's reserved for our champion Walker Fowler. And recently, we've been taking little inside looks at what's going on with our GNCC faithful, and we got a little segment called GNCC Rigs. This week, we caught up with Walker Fowler.
All right, hey everybody, this is Walker Fowler with the WFR, GBC, Yamaha. Gosh, we got more sponsors than that. Fly Racing, all kinds of good stuff, but we're gonna get a pan of the trailer so I don't have to try to remember all of those. Look at all that. Look at all this stuff. So anyway, real quick, this was my college fund. You're looking at college. I think it turned out pretty well. I don't think Mom was super impressed with the purchase originally, but I think she's past that. A little bit of black mold. Definitely respirators are definitely encouraged, but you know, maybe that's the secret to success. You got to build up strength in the lungs. Double stacker here. I think the top is 18 foot. The guy that had it originally ran miniature Porsche replicas. It was kind of neat. They were like oversized go-karts with little baby Porsche bodies on them. This is Mark's original tool cart when he was racing in the early 2000s and up until he retired. When I got him as my mechanic, I got him and the tool cart. It's kind of neat. So he's been working out of that box for years. Like I said, organization is the key to success, obviously. This is my 2018 YFZ 450R that I will be racing. She's a beaut. I forget which race this one did. It might have did Big Buck. Actually, I'm pretty sure it did Big Buck this year, and then it's been sitting dormant. So hopefully we'll get back to our winning ways on a quad that has already won. It was a huge help getting this thing built. They literally built the entire car, and everything that they do, or everything basically that this car has on it, is something that you can buy from Weller Racing. So that was a really cool project. Corey and Jason, thank you so much. But yeah, I think that's pretty much my tour. So I'm going to go bike the track, guys, so I have the upper hand tomorrow. Thank you.
Well, styling and profiling, living large right there at Walker Fowler, let me tell you. You know, it's funny, I was talking to his dad. He said 214 more payments and it's theirs. That's a 1994 chassis, I believe, and like in 2004, someone actually converted that Freightliner into that coach there, and that's whenever they got it a few years ago, I guess. And he said that thing's got over 1 million miles, like 1.6 million miles or something crazy on it. So
I believe it, but they take pretty good care of it. So I imagine that'll be hauling around for quite a while longer.
Well, you might have babies and grandbabies that he'll be hauling around in that someday. You never ever know, man.
Walker.
Hey, I'm not pushing the envelope there for him. I'm just
gonna win some races right now.
Yeah, I imagine he's probably stockpiling a lot of that money so he can buy a new stacker and a new trailer, a new hauler and stuff. But cool stuff, no doubt. A lot of nice equipment down there, and those trailers, man. Those are the real key to success, I think, whenever you look at it. Whenever you've got all the room in the world to haul all your equipment, all your spare parts, all your tools. I mean, there's so much that go in there. I mean, we didn't see everything that fits in that trailer. We saw it organized after they unpacked it.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff up on top. These guys bring a lot of stuff to the races that helps them get through. But yeah, you only scratch the surface, I'm sure. Their drawers are packed full of spare parts and all that stuff. So.
All right, here we are visualizing and witnessing, I guess I should say, the FMF PowerPoint, aka the Camp Coker Motocross track. You see the signs out there, the X's signal danger on that jump, just if you're not familiar with GNCC racing. And those placards you see, those narrow road looking placards that you see on a bridge or something, those are actually our new double arrow placards, or what, if you see those, riders must go between those placards. So that's something new that we've added here in the last few races in GNCC racing. Down in the pro pits now, the BP Fuels Pro Row, as we roll through there. It looks like not a busy place for the pro riders just yet. In conditions, man, I mean, you just dry. That's all we're looking at. Temperature about 70 degrees. You couldn't ask for anything any better. I mean, what are people going to be looking for when it comes to a pit stop? Maybe a drink of water, splash of gas, and it's on again, huh?
Yeah, I don't know if they'll be looking for goggles, honestly. I mean, it is really dry out there. There was one little tiny hole for us out there that had like a little bit of water. And but other than that, it was completely dry. So no, it was fine. I think when they're coming in, I mean, as hot as it is and as rough as it is and as sandy as it is, they're going to be wanting some water to drink down their back, anywhere else that they're scorching.
Now, let's take a look at this racetrack in years past. You've raced it the last 2 years we were here. I keep thinking, I have visions of both dry and wet.
Yep.
I mean, is that...
You're thinking dry and wet, because last year we were here, it was the hottest, driest race we had all year.
Right.
Saturday night, it rained all night long, and it was probably the muddiest race the dirt bikes ever had. So that's where the dry and wet
That's why I'm
from.
getting both sides of that, huh? So we've seen a little bit of everything. Now, you've seen the dry. Have you ever had the moisture on ATV day here?
Not here, no. We I think we've only been here 2 years, I believe.
Prior to
this will be
yeah.
our third.
Yeah.
And I'd have to say this is probably rougher, drier, and tougher than Florida is for me. I know last year was the toughest race for me to get through. I mean, it's always been really dry here for us, and I tell you what, there's a lot of sections of this track that are like that really, really soft sugar sand, I guess you could call it. And it digs out deep. You get deep ruts in the corners, and it gets really, really choppy. So, I mean, the track right now is probably not too bad for them, but here in about, I don't know, an hour and a half maybe, I bet they're going to be looking for the checkered flag.
Yeah,
So.
Chris Borich, after 2 hours in Georgia, said, I'm ready to go another lap. I don't know if he's going to be ready for another lap after today, huh?
This one will be tough.
Well, as we take a look at the situation right now, 1 lap down. We're 34 minutes into this race. Walker Fowler leads Cole Richardson by 32 seconds, only 2 seconds behind him. Jerry McClure with Adam McGill, another 1.8 seconds back, and Bryson Neal about 10 seconds back. That's your top 5. Is this going to change? Are things going to tighten up, or is Walker going to walk the dog's day? Stick around. GNCC Live continues after this.
GNCC Racing. This is Chris Borich. You're watching GNCC Racing. This is Chris Borich. You're watching GNCC live on RacerTV.
Hey, folks, don't forget, coming up tonight, we got all
What is
kinds
your
of great
passion?
stuff. Chapel
Hitting the
services
perfect
coming up
line,
at 7 o'clock.
finding the perfect trail, routing the perfect adventure, or just living and breathing the moto life? Do you feel pride for a job well done after tackling a late night in the shop? Do you enjoy time spent with friends and family in the great outdoors? Spanning over 3 decades, one name has taken the lead for supplying the best powersport parts, accessories, and apparel to fuel your passion. One name that knows it goes beyond getting you the best prices, quickest shipping, or largest selection. One name that builds and innovates for our industry. One name that teaches, helps, and supports our fellow riders, racers, and organizations. We are Rocky Mountain ATV MC. We have transformed a team of moto enthusiasts into a powerful teaching team to ensure that you make the best purchasing decision with your hard-earned cash. We build communities with fellow riders to provide you with all you need to make a good decision. See customer photos, reviews, Q&As, and more while you're on our easy-to-use website. Need help fast? Live chat with our specialists, email, or drop us a line. Visit us today and experience the best in OEM and aftermarket parts, accessories, apparel, and industry-leading information. We offer lightning quick shipping, free on orders over $75, a huge inventory, free apparel exchanges both ways, and customer service that leaves all others behind. Experience one name that leads all others. Rocky Mountain ATV MC. Get ready.
When it comes to guarding your diesel engine, AMSOIL offers the next level performance you demand. AMSOIL Signature Series diesel oils provide 6 times more wear protection than required by a leading diesel engine manufacturer. Give your hard-working truck the protection it deserves. AMSOIL, devoted to protection. See the whole line of diesel products at amsoil.com/diesel.
GNCC Live, Mikey Wayne's here with Cheyenne Shadrun. We're down here in the pits. Is that coming through? I'm not sure it is. It's not on the PA. How about that?
Oh, Mikey.
Well, let's try it again. Nothing?
Might try the audio switch on that to see if it'll come up for you. But we'll check back in with Mikey Wayne's here in just a moment as he'll be getting us some updates there from the Pro Pits. Man, I just love technology. It's great stuff. But nonetheless, back at it. Here we are. Walker Fowler leading Cole Richardson. Man, 33 seconds nearly, or 32 and a half seconds is what we're looking at that gap right now. Landon, this is right where, like I said, this is right where Walker Fowler wanted to be right at the very beginning. I mean, when that green flag waved and he came around that first turn, we saw him out front, and then he, I guess, hasn't relinquished it since then. I mean, he pretty much put the hammer down. He knows he's been beat the last 2 weeks. He does not want that to happen 3 races in a row.
Yeah, I mean, I hate to say it, but Walker is doing his signature move right now. He's taken off. He saw the opportunity, got the whole shot. He got a little gap, and he's running.
Yeah, and they poked the bear. Those 2 wins poked the bear pretty hard.
Yeah, they sure did.
Got one rider over here in the pits right now. He is a amateur rider, I believe. We'll try to get some information. So right now, taking a look at things, it looks like our first lap time's 18 minutes and 15 seconds. We got to take into account the first lap a little shorter than the rest of the laps, and if you look at timing and scoring right now, it would tell you that we are 5 minutes behind scheduled time to see our leader check in. That was based on that first lap time. We're going to get a more realistic idea of what lap times are like. Mikey, you got that thing going yet, buddy? All right. All right, Walker Fowler making his way into the Amsoils. Actually, this is over by the finish line again, as this is about 5 to almost 6 minutes behind what we expected to see him at from the first lap times. But again, remember, it was shorter, so we anticipated to be a little bit longer. The official lap time at the end of lap number 2 as he makes his way through the Amsoil chicanes now is a 24-minute, 7-second lap time. It's actually 24:07.9. And just under the 24:08 lap time right there. And Cole Richardson was in second at last check. He was some 30 seconds behind.
We got him. Oh, I was getting ready to say that. I just got a message. Cole apparently had a crash and bent up the bike pretty bad. So I just saw him standing. Well, right there's the bike right there.
Oh, man, not good news at all.
Looks like he dinged it up pretty good. But it looks like he's okay. He's
good.
standing there. I mean, I tell you, that thing's ripped up. That thing was on its lid a couple times. Wheels look pretty straight. Bars look pretty turned.
Wow.
That's a hurtful one for him.
That's a hard one right there. Tough pill to swallow, especially for the young rider 733 Coltrane.
So here's our new second place rider, Jared McClure, crossing through the finish line.
55 seconds, nearly 56 seconds behind your leader, Walker Fowler, is Jared McClure. But hopefully we'll get a word in with Cole Richardson here in just a few moments. That's a tough break for that kid, especially at the level that he's been riding at, the momentum he has going into this. Hopefully that's not something that'll take the wind out of his sails. Here comes the young gun, the number 2, first-time winner 2 races ago. We're talking about, well, now 3 races ago, I guess it would be. It's the Bidwell Bullet himself here at the Camp Coker Bullet. Bryson Neal.
Yeah, if you notice, we got everybody's really spread out here, and that's just more than likely it's just the dust out there. I mean, it's pretty bad. But you got, here comes, looks like Chris Borch in the number 4 spot. So he's not too far behind Bryson, but in between Walker, Jared and Bryson, we do have some pretty big gaps there. I'm not really sure what the gap between Jared and Bryson is just yet. But
36 seconds is the gap that we're looking at between those riders. A 24:07 lap time for Fowler, a 24:29 lap time for McClure, and a 24:54 there for Bryson Neal. So 3 riders in, now 4 riders. Chris Borch has checked in another 30 seconds back. So kind of ironic 30-second increments nearly, well, almost a minute increment between first and second. But like we said, and I made mention of, those guys poked the bear. I mean, Walker said it, it wasn't in the cards in Georgia. He feels like he got something taken away from him in North Carolina, though. So
yeah, absolutely. But we got a lot of. Here's a big name coming through right now. We got Hunter Hart coming in. But
whoa.
Did Adam McGill cross through just yet?
No. Adam McGill has not made his way through. Not according to timing and scoring.
I think that might have been. It was either him or Devin that just went through.
That was Devin Feehan that went through just ahead of him.
We're missing Adam McGill.
And now look at this. Hunter Hart is 4th place overall, a 25:03 lap time. That puts him, wow, on adjusted elapsed time. He is now 34 seconds behind Bryson Neal.
Yep. No, it's he's hanging in there. I expected him to do good here. He's been training down in Florida all winter, so being here in the sand in South Carolina, it's a good race for him. But we have some young guns really hanging in there as well. Wesley Wolf is hanging in there. He's right behind Chris, I believe. Behind Hunter as well, but he's not far off Chris, and then behind him, behind him is Devin, and then behind him is Josh. Am I right?
Yes,
Josh Merritt.
Yep.
So we got some young guns hanging in there as well, but I wonder what happened to Adam. I think he was 3rd or 4th the first lap.
So interesting to find out. I didn't see him go through. His scoring and timing didn't check in, so we'll know more about that. Here's something else interesting. You mentioned the young guns, Wesley Wolf. Last week in Texas, we were at the Underground Motocross Park. A $50-some thousand purse they had down there last week. And I tell you, lay some money on the line. Watch old WW let the World War go, buddy. I'm telling you, 5th place. He battled some of the toughest talent in the world for a 5th place position finish in Texas last week. Unbelievable AMA Pro ATV racing in his sophomore year. And I got to tell you, a bite of that top 5 right there for him. I expect to see him knocking on the door for 4th long, and maybe not this season.
Soon.
But soon.
Yeah, it was his birthday weekend this weekend, so I was talking to him this morning, and, you know, I asked him how the weekend was, which was while he was down there. I said, how was your birthday, Wesley? He's like, pretty good. I made some money, so.
Well, I'll tell you what, it was funny. From 1st to 6th place was a $600 difference. And you want to talk about boys battling their hearts out? They sure were. There's Hunter Hart in the pits.
Here's something interesting. I don't think anybody else... oh, yeah, I guess everybody's stopping because everybody's whipping in now. We got Josh Merritt in the pits right now.
Well, this is... I mean...
early, I would think.
I would almost think so, too, because if we take into account... This is likely going to be a 5-lap.
It's going to be a 5-lap race.
We had an 18-minute first lap, a 24-minute second lap.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we're looking at a 5-lap race.
So they're going to do 2 laps and then 3 laps after their pit. Normally, we usually did it the other way, but, you know, maybe it might be one of those... Walker might have pulled in, and everybody else just followed along. But here we got Jared McClure out there on the motocross track. He's been kind of searching for that one good race. This may be it, you know. It's looks like he's got a little bit of a way to go before he gets up to Walker, but you know he's hanging in there.
Yeah, he is. And the thing to point out about Jared is one of those guys. He seems to come on late in the race, and already being in a 2nd place position, I think we tend to have him in a really, really solid spot as far as this race is concerned. Oh, look at this. I didn't even have this rider's name, and I saw him this morning. Didn't realize he had signed up in the Vet A class. But Brian Wolf makes his return, former GNCC Pro, number 20 out of Medina, Ohio. A 1.8-second lead over Big Papa P, Jeff Pickens, who got the whole shot out there earlier.
I think we might have a little bit of a battle there. But there we got Bryson Neal coming through the motocross track. Like I say, I mean, you can see how dusty it is here on the camera. It's going to be so hard to... Not so much get around somebody, but close in on somebody. You know, if you're a couple seconds back, you got to fight through their dust. But looks like Chris is charging hard through here.
Well, you know, we talk about these dusty situations. Yeah, look at Borich coming through there right now. But look at Brian Wolf, Jeff Pickens, and A.J. Kuntz. 1.8 seconds between 1st and 2nd, 2nd and 3rd, 3.4 seconds. Those guys are literally on each other's
and
grab bars.
I think AJ won the last one. Got to give a shout out to AJ real quick. He's the one that lent me some fuel this morning when I ran out. So thank you, AJ. Appreciate it. But yeah, looks like Chris is trying to hunt down Bryson, but old Devin Feehan, who had about the ride of his life last weekend, he's hanging in there as well. Yeah, he had actually a pretty bad start, and he's actually gotten in a pretty good position now. And then you got Wesley Wolf. Look at this. Everybody's kind of singling through. Not Wesley. He'll skim across the top.
You know, interesting quote. I was talking to Devin Feehan's dad just before the start, and he was talking about the previous race. He said that he got out there and got to race with McClure and with Chris Borich. And he said, Dad, he said, you know, I rode the best that I knew I could, but never have.
Well, it's really funny because I was talking to him after the race, and I said, man, you're doing good. You were dicing it up, and he said, yep. There was actually a time where I just let them go because I knew I wouldn't learn anything being in front of them. So I let him go so I could watch him ride because that's how I'm going to learn. So
wow, he's a
smart kid.
Very smart kid, no doubt. He's got a big future in this one for sure. So we're back down in the pits. More pit stops taking place out here.
Johnny G.
Yeah, Johnny G. Johnny Gallagher, Mr. GNCC himself, 40 years old here in that pro class. And
it looks like he may be having some issues there because Mark Notman, who's his mechanic, ran down to check on him. I know they didn't work on anything, but I feel like he may be having an issue there.
Well, to point out, we got another old school GNCCer, 45-year-old Brian Baker, the 776 is out with us out of Knob Noster, Missouri. And good to see him back. He's actually got a son that races some of the amateur racing, so he came back last year. And we were joking, and he just kind of laughed, you know, and joked with me there late last year. I had no idea that he was going to be showing up to race the pro class here this year.
It's cool to see him back out on the track. It'd be cool to get a couple of the old guys back there to duke it out with these young guns, see what they got.
Yeah, and another thing that's really cool is I think these guys in the Vet A class have got a pretty good thing. Couldn't you imagine getting Bill Balance?
Well, that's the thing. I mean, the Vet A class is a very exciting class these days, especially when you get Brian Wolf out there and Jeff Pickens and A.J. Kuntz. I mean, they're gonna have an all-day battle. So, I mean, that's definitely one to watch and keep an eye on.
Well, somebody letting Bill Balance know we want him back in GNCC right now.
Somebody got his number.
Somebody's got his number. All right, so let's head on down and see what's going on in the pits with Mikey Waynes.
Or will we?
Oh, didn't he say?
I thought.
Oh, Mike, check. Okay, I thought he said.
Check.
Down the mic. Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
Mikey's
Coming through
still
now.
Screwing around down there.
Here we go, guys. Down here with Cole Hutchinson, man. Cole, obviously, after round number 3 and 4, the great success you had there today, man. Talk to us about what happened. Obviously, not how you wanted this day to go.
And Bryson and McGill got around me and was just following them in the fields, and there was a few a little damp section. I must have jumped into it perfect, and it was kind of soft and like a kicker, and like 4th gear almost tapped just right over the bars, and kind of actually really hard.
Tough break, man. Bounce back for round 6.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, there you go, guys.
You guys were able to hear that or not, but definitely looks like Cole ended up rolling around on the ground a little bit. He had some dirt all over him, but definite bummer for him. I mean, he had the ride of his life last weekend, or not last weekend, but 2 weekends ago at Seal Creek. Got a good start, ended up getting the whole shot, took off, and we're expecting big things. I mean, he had such a rough year last year. He had a wrist injury, and then he also had some stomach problems. And he really came back strong. I mean, a lot of people are really impressed with him this year, but it's cool to see him come back, and a definite bummer to see that happen. Let's look at some of the overall here. We got, obviously we know we got Walker, Jared, and Bryson up front. Hunter Hart in the number 4 spot. What's he, about 15 seconds behind the number 3 spot. So that will be the first time that he, or an XC2 guy, jumped on the overall podium and since Walker Fowler, I believe. So that'd be pretty cool to see him do that. But I'm sure Chris Borch and them are going to have something to say about that. And then we got Wesley Wolf, Devin Feehan, Josh, and Greg Covert, Marty Christopherson. A lot of the young guns hanging in there. I guess we still haven't heard what happened to Adam. I don't know that we've got an answer on that yet, have we?
No, I haven't heard anything technically yet, so we're going to wait. Maybe Mikey can head on down that way, Mikey. We have yet to see Adam McGill check in for his 2nd lap complete. At least I'm not seeing it. Hey, check this out. As I look down through our top 20 overall, we got a couple of non-XC1 riders in doing this. Brian Wolf, 19th place overall right now from the Vet A30 Plus class. And Matthew Blankenship is 20th overall on the 127 from Greenwood, Indiana. He's your college age 16 to 21-year-old class leader. So a couple of non-XC guys up there. That's getting pretty good.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited to see these guys jump in here in the top 20, because I think as the race goes on, these older guys are gonna put their experience to the test and jump in that top 20 and see if we can get some better results.
And speaking of older guys and more experience, we actually had a chance to catch up with one of our more experienced GNCC racers on both 2 and 4 wheels, talking about Barry Hawk. Ooh. Tara Geiger, who is here working with us this weekend, talked to Barry about the cool things. And there is Adam McGill in the pits right now. Let's hold on to this for just a second, see what's going on. Adam does not seem to be in any sense of urgency, no hurries right now, so I would have to think that he quite possibly has.
He's done. He took his Liad off there, and I don't know that it doesn't even look like he got towed in. It looks like he drove it back. But
so, well, let's let him get sorted. Let's get Mikey down there and talk to him, and let's check in with Tara Geiger. And Mikey's down there right now. Mikey, what's going on, buddy?
Hey guys, down here with Adam McGill. Is that coming through? I don't think we're coming through, Adam. We can hear you. Okay, good. Adam, man, we saw you getting towed in. The guys were just saying, well, I don't think you got towed in. Man, you did. What happened out there today?
You know, I was out there and them tires were pulling so damn hard all day, you know, or for a couple laps anyway, and man, just yanked the motor right out of the damn thing. I don't know where it went. Decided, I guess, I wanted to go frolic in the woods, maybe.
More extra time with the puppies today then, yeah?
For sure. We're not sure. I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, it could be as simple as a ground wire could have broke. It could be as major as, I mean, hell, I could have sucked up a squanch in there.
But it's it. There you go, Adam McGill. Tough break for him after the big win in round 4. Yes.
Wow, that's a tough break for Adam McGill, especially after winning 2 weeks ago, winning here 2 years second here, man. He was really hoping for big things to happen right there or right here today at the CST Tires Camp Coker GNCC. This is his title sponsors event, so he wanted to do well for them. But, you know,
tough break.
Tough break for him, no doubt about that. And we were talking there just a moment ago about our co-host this weekend, Tara Geiger, talking with Barry Hawk, and speaking of old guys, and we were talking about conditions too. Well, Barry knows these conditions all too well, and he kind of talked with Tara about what to expect this weekend.
All right, Tara Geiger down here at the Coastal Racing tent. I'm here with Barry Hawk. Barry, you're one of the few guys out here that's ever done the bike and the ATV side, so we thought we'd come down and ask you what your thoughts of the track are and the championship in terms of the ATV side. How's this track work for ATVs?
Yeah, this track's unique compared to other tracks on the series in that it has sand, but it also has a lot of dirt mixed in it, so I call it a dirty sand. So the guys may complain a little bit about their suspension isn't working and whatnot, but it comes down to just track conditions and being different than other places, because I've had some guys that's never been here talk about it's all sand, it's all sand. I said, no, it's not all sand, it's a mixture. So it's kind of unique, but that's every track we go to has its own set of circumstances, its uniqueness. So it should be a good track for the guys. I think they'll have fun. There's a good mix of a lot of fields, and then they go back in some tight woods. So I cycled most of the track yesterday, so it looks like it'll be fun.
Nice, yeah. I heard there's some big open spaces, which I guess in the ATVs will make for good racing. We've had 3 different winners in 4 rounds, and the points race is really tightening up. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's interesting. Walker Fowler being so dominant the past couple years, and I think he won 12 out of 13 rounds last year. So this year he's lost 2 races, which is really interesting. And you know, I've had some people question me on it. Some of the team guys, the Coastal guys. And I said personally, I think, you know, those guys, the other ATV guys, are hungry, and you know, which not that they weren't hungry last year, but I think they've maybe sensed a little blood in the water with him, and you know, a little chink in his armor. So they're trying extra hard this year. And Bryson Neal put in a good round at Georgia and won, and then Adam McGill won the last round. So those guys are right there. It's really good, fun, interesting racing whenever you have a bunch of guys battling for the championship. So, you know, in the end, it's good for the sport.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting seeing everybody get out there on that fast track and see if he can get it back out front after 2 tough rounds. But that's some insight with Barry Hawk, so we'll send it back to you guys in the booth.
All right, thanks a lot, Tara. And back here in the booth, myself, Rodney Tomlin, along with Landon Wolf, Mikey Wayne's out and about. And we're making, we're watching things happen here in South Carolina. The famous Camp Coker motocross track right there. Man, I'm telling you, that thing looks so much different than it looked this morning. And what a rough one there for sure. Sounds like Mikey's a busy boy down in the pits right now, standing by with Mark Naughton, and that is Walker Fowler's mechanic. See what's going so smooth today, man.
Mark, exactly what Rodney just said, man. What is going so smooth for Walker?
We just got out to the early lead, got the whole shot, you know, and we knew it was what we needed for the conditions and the dust today. So, you know, just try not to make any mistakes and, you know, just doing what we tried to do from the get-go.
Now, Walker has not taken his pit stop yet, has he?
No, we haven't pitted yet. We gave him the option last time he come through. It was either going to be a super early pit or a little bit long. I mean, we got plenty of fuel, so we're going to pit him next time.
There we go. Mark Naughton, Walker Fowler's mechanic right there with the scoop down here in the pits.
All right, thanks a lot, guys. Smooth sailing for Walker Fowler. It looks like at least here today after those first couple of races, or those last couple of races, nonetheless. As we take a look at the situation, we're probably somewhere in the neighborhood of about 10 minutes now before we should be due in for our leaders to check in with lap 3 complete. Walker Fowler again leading by nearly a minute over Jared McClure, the second place position there when last they came through a few moments ago. And I got to ask you, Landon, and we'll look at some more classes as soon as we get things rolling here, but I got to ask you, what are things going according to how you may have expected them, considering what we've seen the last 2 rounds of racing?
Honestly, yes. I think I expected this out of Walker here, just because the last 2 races I know frustrated him very badly. And like I say, we came here. It's a fast track. It's a lot of passing. There's really not like any situations where there could be a bottleneck where it could ruin the race for somebody, like it did for Walker last weekend. Just got in a bad situation, but. And I know Walker was wanting redemption so bad, so I know he came here, and I was sitting over at the starting line, watched him come down around the second corner in first place, and I said that this will be a tough one for him. Kind of expected Adam to do pretty good here. He may have, obviously, with what happened, we may never know how he would have done, but Cole, tough break for him. Borch, I expect him to see him finish strong here. I know he lives in Florida all winter. Good in the sand, good in fast stuff, good in rough stuff. I mean, he's good all around. He's an experienced guy, but I expect him to possibly pull up on the back of Bryson, and I think that'll be a good battle between the 2 of them.
Let's see. He has 73 wins, and it's been 43 losses since win number 73.
Yeah.
That's a long way to go.
Way.
And
but he probably haven't forgot how those wins taste. So.
Probably not. I'm sure. And no, he hasn't. And he was so close to tasting one of those in Georgia. That's so re-inspired Chris Borch. The fact that he and his wife are expecting a child, it's another inspiration. Yeah, another inspiration for him. He said by next round they should know the gender of the baby, so we might know whether or not it's a boy or a girl. So
it's exciting.
It is, man.
It's exciting.
And Chris, I think his demeanor around the pits is honestly really starting to reflect where he's at in life and how comfortable and happy he is right now.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say I don't really know how to explain it honestly, but there was a time where I think he just got so comfortable, and he may have just slacked off maybe a year, or maybe I wouldn't even say slacked off, but he had a tough year there. I think 2 or 3 years ago that really hurt him, and but I tell you, he's coming back strong. Looks like we missed Walker come through this section. He obviously already came through, but. Here we got Jared coming through. I figured it would be spread out here, but I did not think it was going to be that spread out. I think this is about the 4.5 mile marker, I believe.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, we got some gaps out there, some big gaps, and it doesn't look like they're into lappers yet either. I mean, I'm sure they're into 1 or 2 here and there, but they're not into them heavy just yet. So.
Well, you hear people talk about there's tight stuff and there's wide open stuff out there. Whenever we start talking about tight stuff here, by comparison to what we've seen as far as tight the last couple of rounds, how does this stack up? Well, I know we didn't have a lot of tight stuff in North Carolina, but let's say Georgia in particular.
This is a tight one. I'm sorry, this is not a tight one. This is very open. Looks like we got Bryson Neal coming through here right now. Georgia's real windy. It's all those small trees that we zip through constantly. This place, I mean, you can look here. It's a lot of open woods with just big trees placed in between. But a lot of it, you stay in a single line a lot because it is sand. So there's big deep ruts like the whole way around the track. So you kind of stick in them. But as far as tightness, this is one of the more open races that we have, and I think a lot of people really love this track. I mean, not to mention the facility that we have here.
Right.
It's beautiful here. We got ponds all over the place.
To go fishing. They got the water slides,
Oh,
redneck
it's
water
great.
slides. I love that.
Yeah,
Zip lines, rope
yeah.
swings, all kinds of cool stuff here.
No, it's good.
The Marie family has certainly pulled out all the stops to make sure that folks have a good time. Well, heck, right out here in front of the TV booth, there's, 6-8 kids swimming in the pond out there right now.
I'm I'm thinking about running over there quick, maybe hopping in, because it looks nice.
It looks nice. Here's what's funny. I was asking one of the guys down that was working the zip line on the way back from start. I said, is it cold? And he looked at me with purple lips, and he said, well, it depends on where you're from.
Yeah, that's so true.
I said, is it cold? He says, I'm from South Carolina, so I'm pretty cold.
I tell you, I'm from Pennsylvania, and it is way too cold for me. And those kids clearly just really like swimming.
Evidently. Here we are winding our way down to another lap complete. We are probably a minute or so out before we should expect to see Walker Fowler checking in, less than a minute according to my calculations. We're an hour and 6.5 minutes into this race as well. Walker Fowler leading Jared McClure, Bryson Neal in the number 3 spot. Hunter Hart, after time adjustment, is 4th, and Chris Borich rounds out your top 5. As we said, boys should be checking in anytime now, and when we return, we'll have them all stacked up for you and let you know just exactly how things are rolling through. Is Walker Fowler going to keep the steam rolling? Stick around. GNCC Live continues after this.
The halfway point is here, and these riders have endured over an hour now of hard battling through the woods at extremely high heart rates, the type the average athlete couldn't even fathom for this level of distance. Can they stick with it to the end? Don't click that X. GNCC Live on RacerTV.com continues after this.
I'm a sore loser.
I'm a sore loser. Losing is not an option for me.
Be the best.
The best? The best. You have to have the best equipment under the hood. That's why I only use
Cometic products in my engines.
Cometic gasket. Cometic gasket. Cometic gasket.
Cometic gasket, a superior quality gasket
for those of us who demand the highest level of performance.
Are you ready to go? GNCC Racing!
Hello everyone, I am Chase at Rocky Mountain ATVMC. Now as riders ourselves here at Rocky Mountain, we are proud to support and sponsor the GNCC Racing Series. Now one program that we've always been known for is our Race Gas program, where every rider who pre-registers for a GNCC race receives a $20 gift card to Rocky Mountain ATVMC. And now for 2018, we've made it even better with our all-new digital delivery. Now, after pre-registering and being put on the fast track, instead of waiting for your gift card to arrive via mail, your $20 in race gas credit will be delivered directly to your Rocky Mountain ATVMC account in 1 to 3 weeks, which is just enough time for us to receive your pre-registration information and process it. You will also be notified via email when your race gas cash has arrived, and also what event you received it for and the expiration date of that credit. Now, if you don't already have a Rocky Mountain account, no problem. You'll be able to create one through the email that Rocky Mountain sends you. This new program will make it faster and easier for you to use your race gas cash, whether it's an online order or if you're calling in and ordering by phone. So don't wait. Get pre-registered today for an awesome experience at your next GNCC race and earn that free race gas cash. RockyMountainATVMC.com. Get ready.
And welcome back to GNCC Live. Rodney Tomlin along with Landon Wolf, Mikey Waynes, and Tara Geiger this weekend from Society Hill, North Carolina, and the Moree Sportsman Preserve, a.k.a. Camp Coker Motocross Track. This is the CST Tires Camp Coker GNCC, and it's a great weekend here. Round 5 of 13, an 11-mile course that we're looking at here today under beautiful sunshiny 70-degree temperatures. And of course, with that being said, that also means that we've had dry conditions around here as of lately, and it is a little dusty. We have got some gaps that have opened up already in amongst our front runners. Walker Fowler's been in and out of the finish line for the 3rd time.
We got more big news here. Borch broke.
Nuh-uh.
I just got a message. Borch is out. Ugh.
Wow.
People are dropping like flies out there.
Well, you have to wonder, is it conditions that may be warranting that, or is it just coincidence today?
I don't know. I mean, is sandy and dusty and fast as it is? It could be the conditions that are making this happen. I don't know. I wouldn't think it'd be this many though. I mean,
well, I guess a lot of it's going to hinge on what kind of problems they're having. If they're sucking in dust and blowing up motors,
well, that's what I'm
thing.
thinking. If it is in fact motors and stuff, I would say yeah, the conditions did do it. It's probably the dust is so bad out there. But what a shame. I mean, we lost Cole, a front runner, Adam, a front runner, and Chris now a front runner.
That's 3 down. And you know what? Talk about. Now, it doesn't help him whenever he battles Bryson Neal and maybe Jared McClure at this particular point. There's Walker Fowler right now. But points race, man, he's going to gain a whole bunch of points on a few people. Those 3 guys in particular, certainly thorns in his side, and this is going to be a lot of breathing room. Like I said, he's still got the number 2 of Bryson Neal and Jared McClure that are going to be right there in the thick of things as far as points go. But, hey, how much easier it is to battle only 2 guys rather than 5 guys, right?
Well, I tell you, another big thing that we may be looking at is someone new jumping up on the podium. You know, that could be big. And one of the biggest one is going to be Hunter Hart.
Right.
He's 4th. Doesn't look look like they've come through the finish yet, but McClure's still on it. He's hanging in there. Got a pretty good gap on. He's got now 54 seconds on Bryson Neal, but he's also a minute and 11 behind Walker, which I think he's only lost about 20 seconds in a lap, which I'm sure isn't what he wants, but he's hanging in there okay. There looks like we got Bryson Neal going around the backside of the motocross now. Any second he's going to be dropping down into this bowl turn, and then he's going to have the, I guess you could call it the 10 Commandments, although that's not here. That's a Loretta Lynn term, but I guess that's still at Loretta's, correct?
Yes.
But similar to that, it's a uphill roller section, pretty tough to get through here on these four-wheelers. Looks like the camera froze here because I think he would have already went through. And it doesn't look like that dust is moving. So.
Very observant there, young one.
Yep. I do my best.
Well, you do a great job of it, bro.
Doesn't,
So, all right, sounds like, yeah, while I got a moment here, speaking of somebody pointing out in my ear, hey, remember Tara Dunaway? You remember Tara Dunaway, correct? A former GNCC racer.
Yep.
She was the young lady that was missing, I think it was her left arm or something like that, a good portion of her arm, and she had adapted to racing the ATV. Well, that way, well, get this. Spin of the wheel, declared Tara Dunaway, 21 years old, the Kentucky Derby Festival Queen at the 60th Annual Phillies Derby Ball on Saturday night. She actually won the ball. Dunaway, who hails from Lightsville, Kentucky, is a junior at the University of Louisville. She serves as the chairman of the Outreach on the College Business Student Council, volunteers at Portland Elementary, and has been named to the Dean's List multiple times and is a business marketing major. The annual Phillies Derby Ball was held Saturday night at Galt House. Of course, the Derby Festival princess anxiously awaited the wheel spinning, and once the wheel was spinned, I guess that was one of the ways that she was able to be named queen. The other members of the Derby also waited patiently, but wow, how about that for her?
Impressive.
Very
nice.
impressive. Mikey
Very
Wayne
nice.
standing by down in the pits right now. What's going on, Mikey?
Chris, man, talk to us. What happened out there today? Not the finish you wanted.
No, definitely not. We had a terrible start, probably mid-pack or probably more towards the back, and it was super dusty. And started working my way up through, seen a couple people have some bike problems. Adam ended up blowing up. Cole ended up wrecking real bad, made sure he was all right, and just started picking people off one by one. And hey, buddy, what are you doing?
Hey, we might stop at the dollar store on the way home to get some ramen noodle packs.
Yeah,
we're gonna need that for about 3 days.
We're gonna need that for this. But now, yeah, something with the motor. It looked like ended up breaking the cases, puked all the oil out of the motor, and nothing we could do. I mean, that's all part of racing, and we'll just try to regroup and come back for the next race.
Well, sorry about it, man. Chris Borich right there. Tough finish to this day, but boy, does this open up the window for some of these other riders.
Amen. That's a very good point. Just like Landon pointed out there, could we see a new name on the podium? Hunter Hart from that XC2 Pro-Am class running 4th was just ahead of Chris Borch on adjusted time. As soon as I get my timing and scoring back, Dan, we will be able to update you on that again here in just a moment. But he's got to be inching his way up. He was about 30 seconds off pace, I think, behind McClure, if I'm not mistaken, there at one point.
I tell you, you watch Wesley, you can tell he's a motocross rider. He just came through soaring, double.
I seen the look on your face. I knew. Wow. I mean, and if you guys could have seen him racing last week in Texas, you'd been blown away.
Yeah, it looks like we actually got some really good battles out here. Marty Christopherson, I believe, just went through, and then we got Greg Covert hot on his heels, or close, very close anyway. 2 New York riders. They actually race a local series together all year long. So it's pretty cool to see them out here battling as well. And but I'm dying to see who. It doesn't look like the results are popping up here. That's why I figured Johnny Gallagher is having some issues. There he is in the pits, off the bike again. Just having a hard time.
Wow, there's another. That's, man, well, he's not out of the race, but he's having problems. I mean, this track has certainly been a hard one. There's the monster stage. I was getting ready to say, you know, we have a monster mile. I think this is a monster 11 miles, man. It's eating these guys up out there. And speaking of monster, look at that big stage we've got. Got the new Black 7 going to be performing on that stage tonight for all the masses here at the GNCC and the surrounding communities. I understand there's going to be a lot of folks coming in for the concert tonight just to watch the new Black 7. So this should be a full house as far as that is concerned. And Mikey Wayne's a very busy individual down in the pits. What are you finding out now, buddy?
On here with Becca Sheets. Talk to us about what was going on with Johnny just now in the pits.
I think it actually happened to Johnny on the first lap. His brake pedal had caught on something and folded under his skid plate. It looked like he was able to get it out to ride it for a couple laps, and yeah, we just tried to bend it back as best as we could when he stopped in here, and hopefully he can salvage some points.
There you go. Thanks, Becca. Man, Camp Coker taking advantage of these riders today.
Well, I tell you, that's an understatement right there. He's violating everybody out there, I think, in some way, shape, or form. But, you know, these are the types of days that win championships and make a true champion out there. And I mean that in a way of, if you have a bad day, what you're able to do after this. Can you rebound after this whenever we go into the next race? Will you let it affect you over the next couple of weeks, or will you let it inspire you, you know, negatively or positive? I guess it's going to affect you, but is it going to be positively or negatively? And that's the key thing of being able to keep positive mindset. Chris Borch appears to have a pretty positive mindset. Even Adam McGill talking about stopping at Dollar General to get ramen noodles on the way home because payday is not happening this weekend for those boys.
It's really hard to knock that guy down. But yeah, I mean, this track is knocking people out left and right. I know Brandon Eichhardt, a consistent XC2 podium finisher, he is out. He never came through the first lap, and I saw him getting towed in as well. And then it looks like Austin Abney's also having some issues. He did complete, I still can't get the results to come up, but it looks like he did complete the second lap, but not where he normally is. So it looks like he's been having some issues as well. So obviously this track is being tough on things, and from the sounds of it, you know, Chris blew a motor. It's I bet it has a lot to do with the conditions out here. It's just it's tough on things for sure.
Most certainly, and though, I mean, this isn't the first time we've ever raced a hot, dry, dusty race like this. I mean, I think as much as anything, there's a lot of coincidence going on. I think there's a lot, yes, I think the conditions are warranting a lot of what we're seeing, but coincidentally, conditions and so forth coming together this weekend is upending things, actually. I mean, and it's ending things back in the direction.
Yeah, absolutely. There we got Alicia McCormick, and I believe that's Austin Parks, and I think that was him anyway. Maybe, maybe not. If it is him, I believe he's trying to sell that quad, so if you're interested, get in touch with him. But Alicia McCormick sitting there, she races the women's pro class. That is Austin. She races the women's pro class. She had an awful get off there at Steel Creek there 2 weekends ago. Ended up breaking her pelvis, her collarbone, and puncturing her bladder.
Yeah.
But she's all screwed back together and all fixed back up, and she's actually getting around pretty well. So cool to see her out here on her. It's actually her youngest son's four-wheeler buzzing around.
There you go. And look at that, Mikey
And
Wayne.
we got Mikey Wayne's
and Tara
putting a Rice
Geiger.
Krispie treat down. Bring me one.
Yeah, Tara Geiger's getting the royal treatment here today. You know what I mean? She's getting to go out and hang out in the pits and see all the good stuff. She's getting to eat all the snacks that the boys didn't eat before they went out to go racing.
Exactly. Marty Christophers is going to come back and be like, all right, Kate, where's my Rice Krispie treats? I was looking forward to this all race. Mikey will be long gone.
Oh, yeah. It's a good thing Marty lives in New York and Mikey lives in Indiana. Give him a chance to run there, I guess.
It might not be too far for a Rice Krispie treat.
That's very true. Especially, I'll tell you, that and Harlan Foley from ATVRiders.com's Mom's Oatmeal Cookies. Oh, my gosh. Oh, my. He had a big bag of those this morning. He said, and you've seen Harlan, right?
Yeah.
He says, my mom wants to make sure that I don't starve. I'll starve and I'll die out here if I don't have something to eat. So mom, make sure I have something. I don't think we have to worry about that. Harlan's got a little bit of extra fuel to run on for a day or so. But man, those cookies sure help out. I'll tell you. Those are some really good stuff.
Yeah. Harlan, I think this is his first GNCC. He's always busy, running all over the country, shooting photos for everybody. But busy guy, and saw him out there this morning. He crossed the track in front of me and Kevin. I had the lead at the time, hanging off the back of the four-wheeler while it's rolling down the trail, taking pictures of me and Kevin riding. You were a photographer, man.
He gets into it.
Yeah.
Laying it on the line for him.
Yep. Yeah, I'm going to have to get some of those oatmeal cookies. He actually lives in my town, and I've never even heard of them. What's going on here?
They're good. They're very good. Some of probably the best oatmeal raisin cookies I've ever had. And I don't even like raisins, but those were really good in there. They're down in the Christopherson pits where snacks time is happening for our pick reporters today. No, actually, there's a lot more than that going on right now. Marty Christopherson, how is Marty doing it? Last check. Now, he's one of our sophomores, I guess, this year.
Sophomore, second year. But scoring doesn't look like it's updating. I don't know if it's my phone, which it totally could be. But I don't see... It has Walker, Jared, and Bryson coming through on the third lap, but nobody else. So I don't know. I'm not sure what's going on there. I know... well, I guess we already saw that. Brian Wolf's number 19th. It sounds like scoring's having a little bit of issues. I'm sure they'll have that back on track here shortly.
Well, they're not having issues. It's our going out to everything else that's having the issues. Scoring's doing fine down there right now.
Oh, yeah, those guys are good.
So right now, as we check the property, take a look at this, Landon. Look at this property. There is the TV booth.
That's us. There's the camera
hi.
right
Let's
there.
wave at everybody.
What's up, guys?
Where is that thing coming in?
Wonder who's flying that thing.
Ian Howells, a.k.a. Woody. There's a snake in my boot. There, I think you can see us. There we are, waving a little bit. There, you can see my hand. But there's the, and I gotta tip my hat to Ian. He has really taken this thing to new levels and given us all new perspectives, a bird's eye view, literally, of the GNCC racing action that's been taking place. And this is only tip of the iceberg of what RacerTV has to offer. And folks, I know sometimes you watch it and you get a little frustrated with some of the technical difficulties because we're doing something here that no one has ever done. We're covering an 11 to, well, it's in some cases up to a 25-mile race course through the woods in some of the most adverse conditions and terrain that you can find on the planet. And we're trying to bring to you live coverage as best we can. And when you take all the variables into it and consider all that, this is a really good deal that you got going on. It's all free for you at home, too.
Yeah. Well, that's what we always said a couple years ago. What is the advantage that motocross has? And the biggest advantage is that people can watch it. They can see the whole race, and they can put it on TV much easier. But with the crew that we have here in RacerTV, I mean, they've taken it to a whole new level now. I mean, we're getting to watch a 12-mile course and see a good bit of it out there. So, no, they're doing a great job. But if I'm not mistaken, it sounds like we got Walker coming into the finish line area. I could be completely wrong, but sounds like someone over in that area is on the hammer. And I would say Walker is probably doing just that. Look at this guy. He is ripping through the trees on the drone. He ain't scared.
No. Well, you saw last show when we were at Steel Creek, that was a really tough place to fly. I'll tell you what.
That was a tough one, yeah.
Ian is creating making himself very valuable to not only us, to a lot of people in the future with this drone footage that he's able to achieve.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is a big deal for all the people at home. You know, they get to watch their family, friends, you know, anybody out here racing. But
when I saw our first drone footage of the UTV race in Florida, I was blown away. And then on Sunday, whenever we used it for the two-wheel and saw Stu Baylor pulling away from everybody down there in the early part of the race, I was hooked. And the drone, we gotta have more of them. We gotta have more drone footage. And
yeah, it's cool to see that side of it. But there we got Steve Feehan. That's got to be Walker over there. He's on the throttle. But Steve Feehan there, that's Devin's dad. I'm sure he's pumped. His kid's doing great.
Well,
and like I say, this
you
race
can't tell by
be...
looking at him he looks a little nervous right now because
well, he probably is a little nervous. You know, he's just trying to make sure everything's going right.
Exactly.
Does he need to have something ready that Devin needs? Honestly, it's funny because it is a lot of pressure on the dads and moms and crew members of these guys. It's a tough job to do that, but no, the Feehan family, they've been really succeeding here recently. I mean, they have to be excited about the results that they have.
Very, very well-rounded family too. I mean,
great people.
The talents that Devin has, you know, though he's an avid ATV racer and races woods racing, and that's what he, you know, eats, breathes, and sleeps. But very talented individual musically. He plays a couple different instruments, and you know, he uses music to kind of get away and use it as a break from studies in school, and also from the racing as well. Let's head back to the Monster Mile. We talked about that. Like I said, I think this is a Monster 11 miles, but we've got one section that's a little bit more challenging than the rest of the track. Tell us a little bit about this section as Walker Fowler makes his way through on lap 1.
Yeah, I tell you, it's probably about it's a good chunk of trail out here, and as you can see, it's like it's in probably the softest area of the track. Really tight though, but got really good flow through there, and as you can see, got the big monster cans on the trees and all. Good part of the track though. I mean, honestly, I can't complain about any of the track out there. It was all really good. So.
So you're not one of those guys that likes the Jared Bolton as opposed to the Ryan Eccles?
No. I think they both do pretty good,
yeah,
honestly. I mean, those guys put on a great track at week in and week out. I mean, they got one of the toughest jobs out here for sure.
They have no idea. People have no idea how hard that job is, and the efforts that you have to put forth to give you the fresh trails and the fresh rides. I mean, some of these places we come to, we've been going to for years, and it's hard to make it fresh, you know.
It's especially like Steel Creek we had last weekend. I talked to Jared a little bit, and I mean, he's just out of land, you know. He's just got to use what he has. He can't really go anywhere else.
Well, here at Maurice Sportsman Preserve, you see the big fields they use for sportsman shoots, clay shoots, hunts. They do all kinds of hunts, deer hunting and different things. They also have fishing here. Stock ponds, I think there's catfish and different things like that are stocked in here. Actually going to be having a fishing tournament this evening at 6 o'clock.
I believe in that pond right there, that big one, ain't it?
Yeah, I believe it is. Yeah. And then in the one around back, over by where the start is located, if you go down Pro Road and you look straight back there, there's another one back there. They've got zip lines down there. They got a redneck water slide. I think the redneck water slide one was like 400 feet long.
There we got Devin Feehan coming through. We were just talking about him a little bit ago. Looks like this is the big field out away from all the parking. This is the fourth big field. We got a lot of big open land here. Makes for a really good track, but looks like we had Devin coming through there. Not really sure what position he's in or who he's in front of or who he's behind. Hopefully it looks like that there looks like Hunter Hart going down the hill there, but I could be wrong.
Man, I tell you, Hunter was on rails that first lap, there's no doubt, and he was within that fourth place position, 30 seconds out of a top 3 ride. I almost have to wonder though. I'm questioning: is Hunter there? Is he within striking distance? His lap times weren't reflecting that he would be. As opposed, because he had like the 4th fastest lap. He was 4th overall, had the 4th fastest lap on that lap. So, you know, it's still waiting with bated breath. Any mistakes? Well, we've seen it happen with these guys. Well, Cole Richardson, I mean, he was up front. I mean, everybody
things
moved
could
up
still
after
happen,
that.
That's for sure. But that was Hunter Hart there, and on time adjustment, he will have the lead over Devin, but and he's still pushing hard. Looks like that there's probably Josh Merritt, if I had to guess. Looks like him. So we got some good racing out there. I mean, like I say, the dust is really making it tough for some of these riders to really have a good battle with somebody. But that is Josh Merritt there. Looks like he's on a little shake of the head there. It's getting choppy out there, coming out of some of these corners, and in these corners, it's just getting so dusty, so choppy, and makes it hard on the body, that's for sure. But these guys should, I believe, maybe a lap after this. They're going to finish this lap up, and then one more is what I'm thinking. But some really good racing, that's for sure.
Wow. Back at there's the water slides. I don't know if you mentioned those or not. There's the junior water slide, and there's a 400 and some feet long redneck big boy water slide. That's one for me and you to go play on. Right?
Yeah.
I think well, they're down there doing it right now. The zip lines they got across the pond.
Yep.
Now, see this guy right down here in the bottom left-hand corner of the pond? I asked him on the way back from the start, is the water cold? He said, depends on where you're from. I said, is the water cold? He says, I'm from South Carolina. I'm freezing.
Yeah, it's cold out there. I mean, it's been warm here. There we got Walker Fowler coming through the finish line area. So
white flag.
White flag is out. So 5-lap race. Looks like
22 minutes, 23 minutes from now, 24 minutes tops, we should be seeing a checker flag come out on this one now.
Yep. So and we should be about a minute 10, minute 20 till the next we got supposed to be Jared. I know we've had a lot of changes, so it could be someone else, but planning on Jared. Walker Fowler. He did what we've talked about so much. He likes to get out there first lap, get a good start, take off, put some people in his dust, and it's working once again. So,
well, white flag lap, time to unleash the beast. I got the Monster Energy right here, the all-new Juice Monster Energy Plus Juice. They couldn't have named this any better for me. It's chaos.
That is a good name for you.
Vitamins and taurine.
Yep.
Man, that's some good stuff.
Great stuff. But there we got Jared McClure coming through. It looks like I started my watch timer here. I know our live scoring isn't working, so
I'd say we're close to 2 minutes.
I think it was a minute and 11. No, he's not.
Oh, really?
Maybe minute 5, minute 10 tops. There we
go.
Caleb Russell with his pup Stella. She's going swimming behind the CST rig. That's actually right over there. Put her in there, Caleb. Throw a ball or a stick or something.
Hey, by the way, want to let folks know this is a CST Tires event.
He went and found a stick.
CST Tires. Oh, look at that. He's going for it. She's going for it, rather. CST Tires not only does ATV tires at great prices and great contingencies now, as they just announced that this week to GNCC a week ago in ATV motocross, but they also do motorcycle tires, and they got great contingency in motorcycle tires as well.
As well as bicycle tires.
Yeah, now they don't have paddling gloves for dogs or anything like that yet.
No.
But they do have CST tires, and that was pretty cool. Stella getting the stick out there and bringing it back.
There we got Bryson Neal coming in the number 3 spot. So Jared, the scoring does look like it's working again. Jared actually closed in a little bit. I mean, I'm sure Walker knows he has a little bit of gap, but I'm sure he's still pushing. Jared closed in a little bit from the 3rd lap. I think he was a minute and 11. He's now a minute and 8, so he didn't close in much. And then we were waiting for Bryson Neal to come through. But they're about Walker, last time he crossed the finish line, he was an hour and 32 into the race, so it should land pretty close to 2 hours, maybe a smidge short.
Yeah, we might be about 350 or 250 or 156 probably around that.
And then we got Bryson Neal coming through. He is 58 seconds behind Jared.
Wow.
Man, I mean, you know what I wanted to look at was that Junior A class.
Yeah, and I do. I want to look at some other classes and find out what's going on in Junior A because we got big names out there in this one this week. Brian Wolf is back with us. Last year, he was racing the XC1 Pro class. Heck, didn't he race the first part of the year in the Prairie?
I think he did, yeah, a good many of them. But it looks like he is running 17th overall.
Wow.
So not bad for Brian, but Jeff Pickens is 18th overall, but he's got a little bit of a gap. He's got a minute and 15 in between him and Brian.
So that seems to be pretty much the case across the board. I mean, it's not just the pro classes we're seeing those big gaps in. And again, you know, this is one thing that in pre-race interviews today that a lot of these guys had mentioned, you know, the conditions that things were going to loosen up quite a bit and there's going to be a lot of gaps and stuff. I kind of hoped and thought with the early windy conditions that we had that it would blow out and not be as big of a factor, but the wind has, I mean, it's still blowing, but it's not blowing as stiff as it was, say, at noon or 11:30 this morning when I first made that prediction myself personally.
Well, and it almost, these field sections are so big and it's a lot of switchbacks out there, and I was just watching Hunter Hart come through the field there a second ago and Josh Merritt. Bryson Neal, see, that was what I was wondering there, because they pitted there on the second lap, and then they had to pit again on their 5th lap.
Yeah.
But I'm not a pit crew, so I'm going to let them do their thing.
Well, Hunter Hart's going to be checking in. You see Mama Hart and Papa Hart there ready to fuel him up. I don't know what physically how long it's going to be before he's in there, but he should be close to that 4th place physically.
I'm going to guess that we haven't got Devin Feehan through, but Hunter Hart is physically behind Devin Feehan, and last lap he was 1 position overall behind Devin, but I'm going to guess when they come through, Hunter Hart will have the number 4 spot. Devin Feehan still having a heck of a race. There goes Hunter right. Oh, no, we've already had Devin come through. I stand corrected. Feehan does still have the lead over Hart, but there we have Walker Fowler coming through the motocross track.
Yeah, that FMF PowerPoint that we have here at Camp Coker. And look at that. I can remember I came down here and announced a few races back in the 90s. And this place was just a pristine facility and still is as far as that. We just haven't seen a lot of action on the moto track. It's turned into a hunting preserve. But somebody get a dozer and get a sanction and get the motorcycle race going on that racetrack over there.
Yeah, with a facility like this, you almost can't turn it down. But
hey, it'd be a good place to maybe run a side-by-side race. Maybe a utility 4x4 race, huh?
Yeah. I thought that's probably a good idea.
It is, I know.
I know.
I've talked to a few people about it.
Yeah. So we got, despite the dusty conditions and all, we still have some really good battles out there. One good one that I was just talking about is Feehan and Hunter. They battled all year last year in the XC2 class for the championship.
Yes.
And they are now battling. Hunter's about 7-8 seconds behind Devin overall. So he's a minute and 8 seconds behind him physically. But then we got Josh Merritt checking in the 5th place in XC1 Pro, 6th place overall. So great race for him. I mean, this is a big jump in the right direction. I know he had a little bit of a rough go of things in at Steel Creek, so I'm sure he's pumped to be back. There we have Hunter Hart pulling into the pits. Even though it's dry, I mean, the foam and the goggles get all sweaty and all, so it is nice to grab a new set. So he grabbed a new set of goggles, grabbed some water, and he is off again. But like we talked about earlier with all these issues, we had a real chance for some of these young guns to jump up in there. I mean, as I was just mentioning, Josh Merritt going to be, right now he's 5th in his class, which is a great ride for him.
There goes Bryson Neal, 3rd place overall right now. Devin Feehan is 4th place overall after time adjustments. Hunter Hart checks in the number 5 spot overall. If you look at adjusted time right now as far as where Hunter Hart is, he has 1 hour, 36 minutes, and 18 seconds. He is 7 seconds behind Devin Feehan on adjusted time, who has 1 hour, 36 minutes, and 11 seconds. However, both of those guys are well over about a minute and a half behind Bryson Neal on adjusted time. So unless something happens to Bryson Neal, I don't see Devin. It could, especially with what we're seeing.
Exactly.
But unless something happens to Bryson Neal or Jared McClure or Walker Fowler at this particular point, can't count any of those guys out. Feehan and Hunter Hart may be looking at, well, Feehan, I would almost have to say this could possibly be his best finish so far this season. Even though he's maybe not getting the ride with anybody out there today, the finish itself, I think, says a whole lot about it. Hunter Hart 5th overall, Josh Merritt 6th, Wesley Wolf is 7th overall, Tucker Wyatt, whom we don't get a chance to talk a lot about. The number 15 machine is currently running 8th overall. That puts him 7th in class right now. Marty Christopherson is 9th. Greg Covert is 10th.
Notice the difference on Marty and Greg Covert there. A second.
Oh, my.
Yep.
Oh, my. Yes, very, very tightly knit right now.
There we have Devin Feehan rolling through the motocross track. I didn't get a chance to see if he did stop for fuel. I'm sure someone has given him the pit board or a note saying, hey, Hunter Hart's coming, get moving.
All right, I think now, guys, is a good time to check in with some of our amateur classes right now. And, of course, with that, I'm going to start with the College A. Just want to give folks a little idea, some of the top 5 in some of our classes. College A 16 to 24. This is after 3 laps of racing complete. Matthew Blankenship right now leading that class out of Greenwood, Indiana, over Waynesburg, Pennsylvania's Eli Kiger, the 808, who grabbed the whole shot in that class early today. McCain Jennings, the 517 out of Algonia, Iowa, is 3rd. 4th place, Davis Brinson out of Hendersonville, North Carolina. And 5th is Seth Wilson out of Smithfield, Pennsylvania. Next class we take a look at our Junior A class. Levi Cohen, a former XC2 Pro-Am class rider, the number 25 machine, a 6.4-second lead over Jordan Poplowski, the number 356 from Shamokin, Pennsylvania. Granite Falls, North Carolina, home to Zach Wright, the 43 machine, who's a minute and 14 seconds back in 3rd. The 896 of Brett Hinkey out of Vienna, West Virginia, is 4th. And Ben Danner out of Cumming, Georgia, the number 450, rounds out the top 5. At A30-plus class, Brian Wolf, as we told you, running 17th overall. A 1-minute, 15-second lead over Jeff Pickens, who's 16th overall, and A.J. Kuntz, 22 seconds behind him in the 3rd-place position aboard the number 58. 821, Brad Whitehead from Reading, Pennsylvania, in 4th. And 5th place, the Marlboro man himself. We're in Marlboro County, as a matter of fact, the 63 of Todd Muscala out of Uniontown, Pennsylvania. As we look into the Senior A class, Brian Shaw, the 828 out of Harrisville, Pennsylvania, leading the Media All-Star ride of Dale Batson, the 671 from Ida, Michigan. Justin Kerr out of Waynesburg, Pennsylvania, the 386 is running in the number 3 spot. 4th place is Mark Batson. He is brother to Dale. He is also a Media All-Stars rider, the number 636 from LaSalle, Michigan. In 5th place, Michael Hayes from Rocky Face, Georgia. And right now, as we go through, we'll check in with some B classes in just a moment. We got a young gentleman here. This guy right here, and I know your name's slipping me right off the top of my head, but I know my son knows exactly who you are. You're one of those YouTube sensations. And joining me is
Dalton Daly.
That's it, Dalton Daly. Dalton Daly and Jake Paul, I think, are my kids' 2 favorite YouTubers right now, to believe it or not. And dude, welcome to GNCC Live. And I understand that even though you're not an off-road motorcycle or ATV racer, you've got a lot of interest in this. And actually, one of our sponsors, Maxxis Tires, you work with them pretty close, huh?
Absolutely. They sent out some tires. They get the vision. A lot of YouTubers get the vision. I got a huge shout out for all the machine freaks out there. We're just going out having fun, just like everybody out here. Yamaha has actually even reached out and said hi and said, hey, if you need anything, call us up. It's actually kind of cool.
It is. I mean, dude, take us through this. I mean, how does somebody find the success in something like that, and how do you find the inspiration to keep doing this stuff day after day like that?
Well, I mean, it's really fun. So that's a big thing of it. The next thing is, you got to stick to it. You're going to have hard times, obviously, with everything. And you just stick to it, and you let the haters hate, and you just keep going.
Actually, I think the haters maybe give you more publicity than anything, to be honest with you, in the end.
All publicity is good publicity, right?
That's it. Now, for the folks at home that don't understand what it is you do with your YouTube channel, tell us what can they expect whenever we tune in?
It's basically 3 or 4 videos a week of what's going on. We got Crush going right now, so that's a 2016 YXZ 1000. We bought a totaled YXZ, and we're just putting them back together. Now we're getting them out on the racetrack for the first time. It's kind of exciting. We're coming into this green as greenhorns can get, and we're just going to go ahead and send it.
Awesome. I love it. Send it. That's a big YouTube wave thing too as well. Now, tell me about your experience so far. This is your first GNCC racing experience. What are you thinking so far, man?
It's really cool. I don't know how. It's different terrain, right? Up in New York, that's where I'm from. You got a lot of mud. You got a lot of wet, and it's slippery, slidey stuff. You got some sand here, which it might react the same way, but at the same time, it's just a totally different experience. Like, we're dealing with snow right now. You guys are, I'm in a t-shirt right now.
Yeah.
I haven't been able to wear a t-shirt in, half a year.
Wow.
So
it's a big difference, isn't it? Well, that's the beauty of getting to do what you get to do. You get to travel around the world and do different things in different places. Whenever it's nasty at home, you go find the good weather, huh?
Yeah. We try.
So what are you doing special for this weekend? Are you gonna include GNCC in this week's vlog?
Yeah. We'll say we came to Society Hill. Say, give these guys a shout out. And I mean, people get it, right? I mean,
they get it.
Look at this. This place is awesome. we gotta somehow get over to the what is it called? The zip line over there.
Yeah. You go, the zip line, that redneck water slide over there. Have you seen that big thing, like 400 feet long? Well, Dalton, it's good to have you out here, man. I'm glad that you've chosen to be a part of the GNCC Racing Nation here this week. Give my boy Chance a shout out sometime if you get a chance, man. And thanks again, man. Thanks.
Yeah, no
Hopefully
problem.
we'll see you out here a lot more, man. I think you're going to find a new home out here if you keep coming.
All right, cool.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. And back to the racing action as we wait, real quick before we let you go. Tell folks how they can find you on YouTube. Websites and stuff like that.
So you can go to youtube.com and just type in 3D Machines, or you can go to machinemerch.com, get something fly, look froggy fresh.
That's the way to do it right there. All right, so we'll be keeping up with that and also keeping up with some of our other classes out here. We've gone through all of our A-class competitors here today. Let's check in with some of the B-class riders now. We'll start out with the College B. This is the 16 to 21-year-old class. Hunter Harris leading this one now, the 504 from Trevorton, Pennsylvania. About a 2.2-second lead. This is one of the tighter classes that we've seen so far today. Jeremy Ladon, a former ATV motocross star, is second in this class. He's also won a novice class last year, so he's adapted to the woods quite nicely out of Glenshaw, Pennsylvania. They've got nearly a 3-minute lead over the third-place ride, the 470 of Chase Allison out of McClellantown, Pennsylvania. Fourth place then is that of Ron Howard out of Mount Morris, Pennsylvania. And your fifth-place position, the 722 Rhett Cox from Campbellsville, Kentucky. College B, 16 to 21-year-old class. Looking back a little further now in the Junior B class, Tyler Palmer leading that one out of Lisbon, Ohio, about a 37.5-second lead over the 413 of Justin Miller out of Hughesville, Maryland. Emily Wise, the whole shot queen. This chick, you got to get her on your videos, man. She gets the whole shot. I'm going to say 70% of the time against all the guys. She's done it since she was a little girl, up through the youth ranks, through the amateur ranks, into these Junior B ranks right here. You see, 25 years and older. She gets the whole shot. She's currently running third right now. Cody Taylor, the 402 in fourth. Alex Elaoff is running in the number 5 spot. Excuse me, he's out of Valley City, Ohio. That's chaos for you right there. That's good stuff. Vet B 30-plus class. Zachary Phillips, the 74 from Parsons, West Virginia. The 719, Chris Conklin, is second out of Sestersville, West Virginia. 4 minutes, 41 seconds. That's a huge gap. My buddy New York Dave Napo, the 698 from Eden, New York, only 8 seconds off pace of Conklin right now. Anthony Spivey, the 409 from Lebanon, Tennessee, in fourth. The 753 of David Rutter Jr. out of Nelsonville, Ohio, is rounding out your top 5. As we go to our final B class that we'll be taking a look at right now, the Senior B 40-plus class, Ryan Reed out of Leesville, South Carolina, 3-minute, 21-second lead over Ed King from Waynesburg, Pennsylvania. 2 minutes behind them at the end of 2 was the 918 of Jeff Harvey from West Union, West Virginia. Lenore, North Carolina's Marshall Fowler, the 604th, and Tim Davis, the 359 out of Clinton Township, Michigan, is rounding out your top 5 in the Senior B 40-plus class. Elapsed time, 1 hour, 49 minutes, and 42 seconds at this particular point. So we're nearing that 2-hour time frame right there. Man, you have got a huge following. Just to let you know, what is it, 6 million followers?
No, not 6 million. We got 640,000.
6 million sounds so much cooler. You just let me down.
We could start talking big numbers and talk about
600,000 people.
Yeah, 160 million. I mean,
that's incredible, man. That is incredible. Yeah. That really is. So we can expect to see several 100,000 people get a taste of GNCC racing after. Oh, that's great. Oh, my boy will be stoked about that, man.
Good. What's his name?
His name is Chance.
Chance
Tomlin.
Shout out to Chance.
Yeah. So Walker Fowler is due in about 8 minutes, my friends. About 7.5 minutes, as a matter of fact. And Making his way back into the booth right now is going to be, you can see right there he is, OLW, Landon Wolf. And Landon, welcome back. You've been out and about for a few moments, and I know while out and about sometimes you're able to find things out. What have you found out?
I didn't find much out.
Really?
No.
I mean, I think we're all in the dust out here, huh?
Yeah, I didn't go far. I honestly just went and threw my Mountain Dew away, and that was about it. It's kind of far to the track. I thought about walking over there, but I didn't want to walk over there, and then you guys need me or something. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think we can expect. Do you have a due-in time on Walker at all?
I do. Right now, according to timing and scoring calculations, 6 minutes and 45 seconds
from
is
now
when we estimate him to be in.
I gotcha. Yeah, so he should be coming through this big open field any minute now.
There's the RacerTV production trailer. You can see.
They're busy. They're busy in there, I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
I think that's where Ian is, who's flying the drone right now. He's doing a pretty good job with it, that's for sure.
Well, this area right here, this is the finish line. It's kind of a bowl area down there, so rather neat. I'm kind of surprised with the finish of this race. There's not more people down there, but it's not been the most of exciting races. And I'm not trying to take anything away from it, but basically what we've seen is what we've had from the drop of that green flag land. And if you think about it, other than the war of attrition that has been lost by some of the riders, Cole Richardson, the big crash out he had, the 521 Adam McGill, his mechanical issues, the number 4 of Chris Boris, his mechanical issues. And
speaking of lost riders, looks like we lost Brian Wolf.
Oh no.
Yep. Big Papa P, Jeffrey Pickens came through Vet A lead, 15th overall and amateur overall.
Wow.
So big day out of Jeff Pickens. Can always count on him to be there at the end of the race all the time. Good day for him. XC2 looks like we got John Glauda Jr. in a number 2 spot, but we have maybe a new name to me. Ben
Kowalewski. He's been an up-and-comer. I've recognized that name a few times in some of the up-and-coming amateur classes. First time I recognized it in the Pro-Am class this year, but he's out of Great Bend, Pennsylvania. He's been around GNCC racing for a while, and that's great. Nick Royalty, who got the whole shot, is in 5th in the class right now. Brody Livingood rounds out in the top 5, as we have only 5 of our XC2 guys in for 4 laps complete right now. One thing I did want to point out, not trying to demoralize anybody, because I've seen John Glauda with this big a lead or almost as big a lead over people before, but right now 5 minutes 56 seconds is what we were looking at, and 45 seconds a lap faster was Hunter Hart last time around. So well over 6 minutes Hunter Hart should be ahead of the rest of the field in this XC2 Pro-Am class.
Yeah, Hunter Hart's on it today, and like I said earlier, I expected him to do pretty good here. Coming from Florida, I think he's been in I actually talked to him yesterday. He's been in Florida since December, I believe Christmas, maybe even earlier. And he went home to his New York home, which is where he lives, for 23 hours within the last, what, 4 or 5 months now. And the only time he was there was for a banquet. But here we got Walker Fowler. He's still moving.
He's still moving.
You can count on that. Mark Notman, I'm sure Mark Notman's sitting down there watching all these bikes get towed in. And you know, Mark, it's all right. Take a deep breath.
Well,
Walker's still moving.
He is, and this right here tells the true tale of a good mechanic right here, being able to get through when some mechanics or some machines can't get through that day. If your bike gets through, you can get a big pat on the back, and if your rider doesn't pat you on the back, let us be the ones to pat you on the back. Good job, mechanics.
Yeah. I gotta say, Mark Notman, I think everybody here would probably agree with me. He's about one of the best mechanics here on this property. I mean, he does a phenomenal job.
The great thing about Mark is that he not only understands the mechanics of a motorcycle and a motor itself, but he understands GNCC racing, and he understands his riders. I mean,
the funny thing is, him and Walker used to stand on the podium together in the XC2 class. They used to compete. They were main competitors in XC2. I mean, I don't know what year that was. It was a long time ago. Not that long
12,
ago.
11 or something.
Yeah,
like
I would say like 10 to 12. Those years there. And then Mark ended up retiring from the racing scene, and
And that was kind of a shock to me, to be honest with you, because Mark really seemed to be on the cusp of really breaking through and doing the things that we kind of expected and hoped for him to do. But I think that, you know, I don't know what his mindset was, but I think he looked at the big picture and said, you know what? I enjoy being a part of it, but I want to be a part of it in a different way now.
Yeah, I mean, he was an excellent racer. Everybody knew that. He knew that, but he's a phenomenal mechanic. And Walker may have even had an influence on it. Like, come on, just quit racing, be my mechanic. Like, and I think Mark's happy with it. I don't see why he wouldn't. I mean, he gets to hang out with Danny Fowler and Walker Fowler all day long. So, no, I think it's been a really good gig for him.
Hey, wait a minute. Do they have a spot for a water boy on that team or anything like that? That sounds like a good team to be on.
I'm sure they would find something for you, Rodney. I'm sure they could squeeze
Yeah, Danny, when
something
you
in.
said that made me think I wanted to be a part of that team. And rightfully so, man, because they're getting ready to celebrate about a minute and a half out. Let's keep an eye on what's going on right now as we are in the closing moments. There is Bryson Neal, not battling through the woods, but not battling an individual. Just the trees, the elements, and the conditions right now is the only thing that he has to face, it seems like, for the next 5-6 miles or so that he's got. They say that he is at the 4.5.
I think he's on the back side of the 4.5. This is an area where the camera has 2 different shots.
So we're probably closer to a 7-mile mark here, or 5 or 6.
Well, no, I think we're actually like at the 8.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, that would make sense because we got Walker within a minute now of the finish. Yes, 11-mile course, that would make a little more sense. So maybe even a little further than that. But Bryson Neal, when you do the math, is about 2 minutes, a little more than 2 minutes behind Walker Fowler physically on the racetrack right now. This hasn't been one of the most flashy races, one of the most exciting races that we've seen in GNCC, but at the same time, it's had a lot of great elements to it as we wind down here to the finish line later.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, a lot. You look through the results here. I mean, not only the pro class, a lot of different classes had some big mix-ups in it, and made for a good day of racing. I mean, XC2 had a good battle. I know Hunter walked away with it just a little bit, but overall, I think it's been a good day of racing. I know it's been a good day of racing for Mr. Walker Fowler. I'm sure he's beyond pumped on what he's accomplished today and happy to be back up on that top. Well, I shouldn't say that yet, but well on
Nearly
his
there.
way to be back up on that top spot. So I'm sure he's pumped about it. I know he's got his girlfriend here, and obviously the whole crew. His girlfriend's from Florida, which is where Walker's been spending a lot of time being down there with her.
Well, right now, according to timing and scoring, if we looked at that, now remember we calculated about an hour and 56 minutes. We're already at an hour and 58. Something slowed down out there somewhere.
Yeah. It's well, the track's
Oh, wait a
getting
minute.
rough.
My clock's a
that's what
little different. My
I'm
clock's 2
looking there.
minutes off of that one.
There, right there he is, the man.
Well, I was really close to that 156.
Yeah, you were.
Checkers are out, and Walker Fowler does it. He wins the CST Tires Camp Coker Bullet GNCC. That is only win number 3 here in 2018 for this rider, but a monumental win indeed after 2 losses in a row. A 5th place in Georgia, followed up by a 3rd place position finish in North Carolina just 2 weeks ago. Back to the center of the box, Walker Fowler is got to be super excited about this right now. And, you know, this is the type of day at the office that Walker Fowler likes to have. You know, if you go talk to him right now, he's going to tell you, that's exactly what the way I wanted it to go. I wanted to get out front and then sprint away and have no problems, and that's exactly what happened.
I tell you look at him there, it looks like he's about half upset about how something happened, which it looks like he's pointing to something on the bike, something on the throttle there, which I saw him pull in and immediately said something to Mark about it. So it looks like he was struggling with something, and now he's giving Mikey Waynes the rundown on it. And he's also missing a front bumper.
Wow.
So it wasn't a flawless race for Walker.
And that might account for the reason that he was late coming in on that last lap.
There's Jared McClure. He just pulled in there behind Walker in the number 2 spot. There it is. Look at that. I mean, he can't have much throttle there. Did you see that? That was all free play there that he was just showing.
Wow.
Mark, can you take a look at this?
Well, you know, that again, it goes back to the thing that Walker likes to have is that gap, that buffer zone, the one that he didn't have in North Carolina, the lack of which lost him the race 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
This buffer zone that he amassed here early in the race, it won him the race here in the end. So who knows how long he had to maybe run at half throttle or less even just to limp that thing to the finish line. But he made it to the finish line, and he takes a win.
Yeah, and here comes Bryson Neal. It looks like Jared McClure ended up 1 minute and 4 seconds behind, and now we have Bryson Neal coming through this finish line chicane. As you can see, it's getting choppy out there.
Yeah, it is. That's a rough one, and I think you're right. You said this is about as rough or rougher than Florida. I almost have to think you're right. 1 minute and 11 seconds back. Bryson Neal checks in third place. And wow, what a day. 1 hour and 58 minutes and 45 seconds for Walker Fowler in this race today. 1 minute 59:49 for Jared McClure. Just over the 2 hour mark, a 2 hour, 1 minute exactly. Bryson Neal checks in. Devin Feehan waiting on him. He should be 1.5 minutes or so back. And now the big question is, where's Hunter Hart going to hinge on this?
That's what I was getting ready to say. I'm anxious to see. I'm sure we're going to see Devin Feehan come through first, but he has a minute advantage on Hunter. So I think the real question is going to be, will Hunter come in within a minute or outside of a minute?
Well, right now is the only thing we can do is wait. And that's exactly what we're going to be doing. And the thing is, we've got a several minute time frame to wait on here. And Hunter Hart should win, unless there's some sort of an issue there. Should be able to win the XC2 Pro-Am class.
Yep, there comes Devin in right now. So now we just wait to see.
Yeah, waiting game at this point.
Well, and another thing to note, whether Hunter comes in front of him or not, Devin Feehan is going to be finishing in the number 4 spot.
His best finish.
I think that's his. I don't know that he's gotten a top 5 overall, but he now has for sure. And on top of that, number 4th place in XC1 Pro. It's quite the accomplishment for round 5 now.
Right.
5th race in XC1 Pro.
And you know, fresh kind of a few years ago as an XC1 Pro class rookie yourself, what that means and to be able to achieve something like that.
It's huge. It's huge for him. And like we were talking earlier, he's such a good kid. And I will say, I mean, Devin, he's in really good shape, good training guy, and he's worn out. And that's what I'm saying about this track here. It's one of the toughest, and he's definitely searching for some air. But what a great finish out of that boy. I mean, he's got to be pumped on that. I know I am for him. So
yes, most definitely. As we look at it right now, I think the best finish we've seen him get last year overall was a 6th place, and that was from the XC2 Pro-Am. This year so far, the best he got was a 6th place. That was at round 3 in Georgia. He finished 7th in North Carolina a couple of weeks ago. So this 4th place is going to be his best pro career finish here in South Carolina. Devin Feehan, congratulations to you, young rookie.
There's Hunter Hart. This could be I think he's outside of a minute already, but as you can see, he's getting held up with some lap traffic here. So tell you, I think Devin might have that number 4 spot on lock.
Hunter gets around that rider. Look how rough and choppy that is, man.
Yep.
I mean, just when you think they're getting ready to just lay into it, they hit a bump and go up in the air. And at the checker flag, Hunter Hart checks in.
There it is. Devin Feehan, number 4 spot for you, buddy.
Yep. Devin Feehan holds on to 4th place. Hunter Hart will finish up in 5th place overall. His lap time of 27:02. Here is the tail of the tape. Devin Feehan finished up 2 hours, 2 minutes, and 42 seconds. It was about 40 seconds or so behind that was Hunter Hart, as he had a 2 hour, 3 minute, and 21 second lap there, race time there. So very commendable race by Hunter Hart, but also as well for Devin Feehan. His best finish as he finishes 4th. But again, it's Walker Fowler, Jared McClure, and Bryson Neal, your top 3, 1, 2, and 3 on the podium. Devin Feehan. And 5th place then, Hunter Hart. And Hunter had about a 6-minute lead whenever we headed into the final lap of racing over the closest competitor in the XC2 Pro-Am class there a few moments ago, which was a rider that, well, you can't take much away from him either, John Glotta Jr. And, you know, I've seen him with leads like that before. You got to go, don't you?
Yeah, I got to go. I got to go run the side-by-side race. So nice being with you guys. Nice being with you, Rodney.
Thank you very much, Landon. Thank you very much.
We'll see you in a bit. We'll see you in what, 3 weeks, right?
Yep, most definitely.
In Indiana. Till then, guys.
Well, we'll see you on the track.
We will. Yeah. Hopefully, I'll see you on that podium over there in just a little bit.
All righty.
I'm counting on Kyle.
All right.
See you in a bit, guys.
All right. So he's going to go jump in with Kyle Cheney, and he's going to get ready for the side-by-side race. And you folks at home watching on RacerTV.com will be coming back live with that somewhere in the neighborhood of 4:30 or so. So give us a few minutes to get this wrapped up, get the stage reset, and we'll be heading over there and ready to fire things off for you in that department. Right now, still waiting on second place in the XC2 Pro-Am. Let's see what's going on down here at the finish line. Looks like Walker Fowler may be about ready. Mikey Wayne standing by down at the Moose cool-down zone, and he's ready to talk to our winner.
Thanks, Rodney. Down here with Walker Fowler. Man, Walker. This one's got to feel good, man. You tell us the story.
I just, man, I've been fired up. I've been getting hungrier and hungrier, and I just knew with the dust and this track, I remember from the first 2 years that a whole shot is so vital here, especially with this dusty sand. A lot like Florida, I've been spending a lot of time down there, and that's been a huge asset to my program. It's rougher than tar, and I'm definitely in shape and was ready for it. And I don't practice starts very often, but I think about it in my head a lot. Man, a second Ricky flinched, I went, and actually I got in front of Chris, and I think my bike spun out, and I was fishtailing, and it wasn't pretty, but we drag raced in the first corner. I pushed Richardson wide and was able to get into the woods first, and man, from there I just went full sprint. I've really been practicing my sprint speed again. That's been a struggle for me, and it felt good. It felt really good to get a nice big cushion that first lap. And just put it on cruise control after that. Make consistent laps. Try to ride mistake-free. Everything was going good. The fourth lap, I started to get into some pretty heavy traffic. But, man, that fifth lap, I got into really, really heavy traffic. I think the back part of the A-classes. And they were still racing. And it was really hard to get through traffic. Right here, literally come through scoring, go through this mud hole. And some guy just stopped in the track. And I crushed him. I bent the frame, I ripped my bumper off again. Actually, the bumper was only half off, which ends up being a problem later. I broke the throttle housing. I only had quarter throttle the whole last lap. And I couldn't even panic rev to get anyone out of my way because it would only go like brrr. So, man, I was everywhere that I could pick up some speed. I just rode like a maniac because I literally couldn't go any faster than quarter throttle in the fields. And then the bumper started to get underneath the quad, and I couldn't keep it on the track because there was this metal object underneath the front end, and finally it sheared off and I could ride again the last 2 miles. But 5 races, all of them haven't been clean yet. This was looking good, and it finished ugly. But man, we persevered, we got it done, and it feels good to get back on top for sure.
Welcome back to the center, Walker, man. Is it going to be the Walker Fowler Show the rest of the year?
I sure hope so, man. I really appreciate when it goes that way versus the excitement. But, hey, the other guys, I'm just thankful that they're able to kind of pick it up sometimes. I know it's exciting for the fans, and just got to give it up for the whole Yamaha, GBC, all the guys that fly, FMF, Lone Star, Fox, Hinson, SSI, Maxima, VP Racing Fuels. Man, we got a whole slew of sponsors, but it feels good to be back on top. All my family for watching, thank you so much. Grandma Joe, I'll say happy birthday this time since we missed it last time. I love you. And, man, all my family and friends that are in Florida, too, thank you guys so much for sticking behind me, motivating me, and getting us back on top. Feels good, baby.
There we go. Walker Fowler with your first place finish in the XC1.
Well, there you go, Walker Fowler back on top in the center of that box, the place he's been searching for the last couple of rounds, and I'm sure may have had questions at one point there in that last lap. Is it going to happen? That's for sure. As we roll through our championship, or our champion of the CST Tires Camp Coker GNCC, we, of course, now turn our attention down to the second place position, laying in wait like the sneaky snake always does, but never an opportunity to strike. Jared McClure ends up finishing in the number 2 spot, 1 minute and 4 seconds flat behind Walker Fowler. Again, McClure on that ATVriders.com machine out of Casca, Pennsylvania. Bryson Neal, he took 3rd out of Bidwell, Ohio. Devin Feehan was 4th. 5th overall was Hunter Hart. As we look back a little further, Wesley Wolf in 6th. The 11 of Josh Merritt was in 7th, one of his stronger finishes. Greg Covert in 8th, Tucker Wyatt 9th, and Marty Christopherson rounded out your top 10 on your CST Tires Camp Coker Bullet GNCC leaderboard there. It's all presented to you by your good friends at Rocky Mountain ATVNC.com. Get ready. And right now, old Hot Rod himself, Jared McClure, getting ready for his talk with Mikey Waynes. Tell us a little bit about how his race day went. Obviously, if you've been tuned in with us over the course of the last couple hours or so, then you know that wasn't a bad day. Nothing monumental as far as McClure's day is concerned. Just a good, steady race that put him in 2nd place and on the box once again here at the end of the Camp Coker GNCC. Celebrations continue down here at the Moose Cool Down Zone, and our next rider that we talk with is going to be our 3rd place finisher. Looks like that of the Bidwell Bullet himself, Mr. Bryson Neal.
Hey, man. Bryson, I know not the finish to this one that you wanted, but how are you feeling about round number 5 here at Camp Coker?
Sum it all up, I'm happy. You know, this track was gnarly. The forest in there was the burnt forest, and that section, the stumps were just pulling the bars out of our hands. I clipped a tree on the first lap and knocked my toe end out of place, and my bike was pulling to the right, and I hardly couldn't turn to the left, and on the tight corners. And I saw Cole Richardson, he smoked the tree. McGill, he smoked the tree. I saw Borge was out. I was like, man, this track is dropping people left and right. I just got to keep this thing going and make it to the finish line. And we got good points. Bike handled good. Shout out Brock Booth. Motor ran good. Pat Kidwell. And everything is just cooking along, man. We're 3rd place. We're happy. We're satisfied. Keep our head down and come back stronger next round.
There you go. Congratulations to Bryson Neal, your 3rd place finisher. Jared McClure coming up next, your 2nd place finisher.
Wow. Very mature young man that Bryson Neal is. There's no doubt. Spending some time there with Barry Hawk and the Coastal Racing team, you know, did a lot of good for that young man as it helped him mature as a racer and as an individual both. And obviously it's translating into a great season here this year as he has been on or near the podium almost every round so far through these first 5 rounds. And another rider that seems to be a podium potential rider nearly every drop of the green flag. Jared McClure, who took the 2nd place position, has made his way down to the winner's circle there in the Moose Cool Down Zone with our own Mikey Waynes, who will get a word in.
Well, Jared, man, this one, Camp Coker, just seemed like an absolute battle of survival today.
Oh, yeah, it was, you know, pretty tough conditions out there, mainly dealing with the dust. You know, heat really wasn't an issue, but track got really tore up a lot of roots. You know, it was kind of sketchy first lap when you couldn't see where you were going. You know, I was 3rd off the start behind Cole and Walker there, and, you know, it was a struggle to stay with those guys. Had a couple sketchy calls, like clipped a tree, but, you know, I was able to get around Cole in and, you know, try to push and get Walker, but, God, it was tough. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, man, well, congratulations. You got to feel good after a day, coming away with a 2nd. What kind of momentum does this carry for you into the rest of the season?
Oh, man, this is good. Best finish so far, you know, with the 2nd. Definitely a huge boost. Last race didn't go well for me, so, you know, it was awesome coming out here today and doing well. And, you know, I think a couple guys had some problems, which, you know, I don't wish on anybody, but it really helped me out in the points. So, overall, it was a good points day. Can't be happier. You know, would have liked to win, but making steps in the right direction.
A win's on the horizon, right, man?
That's what we're planning on.
There we go, everybody. Your 2nd place finisher in the XC1, Jared McClure.
Well, coming into this one, Jared McClure was looking at 5th place in points, and if I'm doing my calculations right, he should be able to loft himself up into a number 3 spot in points ahead of Adam McGill after his DNF today, as well as Chris Borch, who also suffered from a DNF and likely no points scored for either one of those riders. And another rider that was riding in podium contention all day, and a top 3 overall potential rider on any given day is the XC2 Pro-Am class leader and winner here today by over 6 minutes. We're talking about Hunter Hart, and there that kid is on the number 7 machine, a phenomenal rider to say the least. And I think we got a lot to look forward to as far as this young man's future is concerned. Checking in to see how the rest of the XC2 class happens to be shaping up right now. Looks like Glotta is in 7 minutes and 8 seconds back. Drew Landers will finish in third in the class, another 2 minutes and 26 seconds back. And Hunter Hart is patiently waiting, heading over to the podium here in just a few moments as he will talk about his race and let everyone know what the Sands of South Carolina brought to the GNCC. Well, folks, that looks like that's going to wrap us up here today. And, of course, for all of us here at RacerTV.com, myself, Rodney Tomlin, of course, Mikey Waynes, Landon Wolf, and Tara Geiger, have a great day, everybody. We'll be back in just a few moments with UTV Racing.